do absolutely everything. Shout out to Brendan, great job there today. I hope you guys enjoy this futures trade. It was obviously it's done quite well there. Now $2 and change in the money. We lost early, made it back late. Good trade there. Oracle downside. There's the news. So watch out for this play. Now down 1.7%. This market, she could get a lot worse. So buckle up. Stay tuned. We're back at 2 p.m. That's Neil. I'm Sean. Ciao for now. Enjoy your lunch.
Boom! Greetings and salutations, beautiful people. Welcome to the midday show. That is your boy Joey Vest. Show him the show. Oh, you took it off already?
Yeah, I just took it down. Joey's Vest.
And I'm Sharif, guys. Good, happy Friday, and good morning to everyone. Let's see where everybody else is at in the chat. Assassino. I'm not the only one that has names named after him in the chat. Shout out to Bovin. Happy Friday, back to you. Mike P.D. Ryder, we got Gorv, we got Other Zinc, we got Aaron and Dino, Pitchbull, Sahil, we got Stefan, we got Casey, 526, Joey's Vest, she says, Trader, 604, and Yannick, Andrew Chow, and Blackhawk, we got Whoa, Bobo, Whoa. Monroe, we got Fluffy, Hippo, Mr. Mimic, we got Vancouver, something or another there. Shout out to Jacques, shout out to Dollar Bill, yo. T, what's up, yo? We got Arcane, we got Donkey Trader, Joe's Big Daddy, I like that one more than Joe's Vest, Travman, we got Inventing, Jordan and Fino, shout out to Hinsey and JR, PC Hoon and Holly, New York City, Attritionist, okay. Front Porch Trader and Baby Hands Donnie. We got Ichiro. Who else, man? We got Green Saber. Dexter Smith. He's in the house. He's doing it live. We got Big 4-0 Nephew. One more, Joey. Papacito.
Papi.
Good morning to everybody, guys. It is a freaking cold one outside.
Dude,
very cold. And it's sunny as hell, though. That's the thing. And okay, let's just cut the crap.
Yeah,
I'll take the sun with the cold rather than fogginess with, -2 or +2. That's just 100% Assassino says. I need that sun, Joey.
No comment.
No. Come on, Joey.
Listen, this is what I was doing. I'm like, okay, my debit card expired. So I'm like, all right, yeah, let me go walk and get and renew my debit card. I got across the street, so I got to the south side of Wellesley, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening. And I turned right back around. I'm not walking all the way down there. There's no chance, so it'll have to wait. But no, guys, let's get right into this. Bitcoin, oh no, down 2% here. IBIT, that is, guys, heading towards some key support levels. Not good on the daily, that is. So we take a little move to the top side. We didn't take much off, and then we get stopped out, break even. Sure enough, it continued to bleed. And I take a couple more stabs at it, which didn't work out in our favor, and then you can see that we're trading substantially lower. That's why it's good to get out when you're supposed to get out. Now, as for our best trade of the day, it is going to be this here, guys, MSOS.
Bro,
as we take along some big-time volume stepping into right here as well, too. But yeah, I mean, this was our best trade, guys. Still slightly positive on the day. Nothing substantial, but we'll take it. 490 all the way up to 517. And then later on in the morning, you get 1055. You get this massive volume spike in MSOS. So that's not looking too bad whatsoever. But yeah, the market...
bleeding its own blood.
Really bad. Yeah, it's bleeding a lot of its own blood here, Sharif. Tesla moving lower. We have NVDA starting to break through some support levels. This is what I was talking about on the daily, guys. Hold on, let me pull this up before we send it back. I think we're going to see some lower prices here in NVDA, unless this is going to be the ultimate bounce, which I don't think is necessarily going to be the case. But this is looking awfully like a head and shoulders pattern, if you ask me. Key support levels, a lot of chop and a lot of nonsense up in this area of price action. So watch out for some levels to start to be broken in the overall market, guys.
All right, guys, there's some nice small cap gappers moving right now. We're going to get to them in a second. Just allow me to set up here on the side charts. Look, a lot of them are giving the move back. So they were very strong in the pre-market, but it looks as if maybe right now the good times may be over. I just worked into OCG where this one was down halted after making a new high day 181. So I got in 143, show me 140, 139. Here's the deal though. I'm looking for that 130 area to hold. Okay, so it's still above the 10 moving average on the 5, the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, so it's still holding trend even though it was a monster down move. Essentially, it got that 181 high and then the halt was 134. So this one was bleeding quite aggressively. The candle that just closed at 11 is a candle of indecision. It has basically similar sized upper and lower wicks, but it did close red. Here we go. Now it's popping into the 40s. This current candle on OCG has a higher low. Okay, so it didn't quite make it down, at least not yet, to the low of the prior candle. I've posted up there just south of the $0.50 in case that $0.50, you know, acts as a level of resistance. So that's what I'm looking at there. Also, there's a bunch of others. I just want to throw in the tickers before I do bring them in. Nice pop up here on OCG. Let's wet the beak there. There we go. 48 showing up now. Nice. Let's go ahead and post north of 50 as well. We're going to go to 54s, and then we're going to go a little bit higher as well. We're going to go up to 57. There's 49. It's got to cross 49 for me to get the print. Seller, big seller at 49, and he keeps refreshing his position, the little bugger. So we're going to have to wait a little bit more. No, we got it. 50, showing 53 now, Joey. There we go. Nice move up on OCG. Good hold. Now this current candle has a higher high and a higher low. So trend intact. Continuing on into 55, looking for continuation. There it is into 57. We take it out there. Now let's post at 60. We're posting at 62 now, looking for that move into the $0.75. Fully alive to the fact that we haven't cleared that 50 penny area quite decisively yet. And so the reversion may still be intact. Good look right now on OCG. This bad boy is up 71, 73%. So let's keep an eye out on this one. And it's holding trend, most notably 58's now showing it. 59, 60 just flashed there momentarily. There it is again. The strength is in right now for your boy OCG. We're going to wet the beak here, and then we're going to cancel the upper order. And now you know where we're going to wait. We're waiting at 69, Joey. So this one's up 75 and change. There's that good one right now. Shout out to my boy Mike PD Rider. He's all over OCG, and it makes sense to me. Seller at 61, big seller at 61. Look at the amount of shares coming in at that time in sales, and there's more coming onto the gateway there. That's no good for the longs. Assassino's killing. Oh, that's Chilean Nightmare, my man. So there we go. There, that's what Chilean Nightmare is showing you. He's showing you the time in sales right there, and I want to keep your attention to that. Show them that, Fabian. The tap, the theoretical auction price. Fabian's getting real deep. He's getting real deep in there. That tap right there, that will be important if this ends up halting up, because this is a Nasdaq stock, so we'll be able to see this selling. Did you see that monster seller at 61 that we couldn't shake, dropping back down into 52, Joey? The blood might be in the streets right now for OCG, still holding trend. Now anything below 40 ends the trade for me, okay? We're gonna move up the stop so we can lock in the profits. How many shares we have left? Yeah, we're good. So we're gonna go ahead, move up the stop into 43. Sorry, I'm gonna actually put it to 39. I don't, it's fine. You know, we don't have to have that tight of a stop for this. So we're gonna go in 139er, and then we're gonna get out everything at 135er in case, well, you know, we'll give it a bit more room there. So anyway, OCG in focus for me. It looks like it's coming back down. We'll flatten out here, break even, okay? Now, I wanna bring in more. So this ARBKL, I don't know what, this one is not showing up on the system, Neil. It doesn't say block ARBKL. It's a Nasdaq stock, ARBKL. It's up big, it's up 200%. But the system is not allowing me to go in, so I don't know if we can submit a ticket or something, but it's up big. A multiple halter. This thing was halting to no end, essentially right from the get-go, right from 950 halt, 1, 2, and then you had a 10-minute halt, 3, 4. So 4 halts up. I don't see any halts down. It's losing VWAP right now, but this is one of those anomalous situations where, because the price action developed so quickly, the volume weighted average price is on top, ahead of, higher than the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. That typically isn't the case. Usually the 10 EMA shadows the price a bit better than VWAP. That may invert later as the price action, you know, develops a bit more, but it's holding on to the 10 EMA on the 5. It's also holding $5. So this one's not going to lose its spot on the side chart quite yet. We're going to keep an eye out on that one. And then I want to bring your attention to CLYM. You have to pardon me, I didn't throw in the ticker. Let me do that right now. CLYM. YM. Very, very strong, very directional name. You got that 930 big boy breakout, and basically it hasn't touched the 10 moving average on the 5 since that 930 pop. Alas, all good things must come to an end. I'm not saying this one is coming to an end, but this is starting to form a bull flag. There's your big move up. There's the pull part of the flag, and now we actually have the pennant or the flag component. This seems like a pennant though, because it's compressing. Lower highs with higher lows. That means, you know, we could get a breakout above these trend lines and I could take this for a ride into 354, whatever. It's up 32 and 2/3%. So CLYM looking real good for me here. We're going to keep an eye on CCCX. This is a holdover from yesterday. It's above in special. The reason I put it on is because right when I sat down to do to put the tickers on my side chart, it rocketed up. Look, it was trading at 15.15, and then it rocketed up to 15.78. But look how quickly that one came back down. So we'll keep this on for now. But if it keeps losing VWAP, it's going to lose its spot on the side chart. RYM as well was a multiple halter like the other one that I showed you. But look, it's just giving it up quick as you freaking like, man. And this one's super expensive, 50.38 high. It's halted down at 29.41 now. So, you know, we're going to have to trade this one carefully. But look, Joey, OCG, I got out of it, but it's still holding trend, dude. It's still holding that 10 EMA on the 5, so I might just have to get back into this one, my man. What are you looking at?
Yeah, I got a couple things on the board here. I mean, the market's still bleeding, so I don't want to stand in front of this whatsoever. I don't think this is going to be the session where we get that V-shaped recovery. I mean, I was just looking at the Nasdaq from the daily. Failed new high, right, guys? So I think there's going to be some more downside here, and the market takes a little bit more time to turn around. But first things first, MSOS, look at this daily, man. What a massive engulfing prim, $3 to $5 right there, with a peak around $5.38. So that's a big time move. You're up 36 and a third. Oh yeah, close to 36. 36 right there. It just dropped a little bit. But let's head over to the daily and see what we got going on here, guys. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, and I figured this was going to be the case. So nice dip buy, but then you fail to construct a new high, so you have a multi-day consolidation, and then now you're starting to break through some of these support levels. Let's make this a little bit cleaner for you guys so you can see it. But now this is a strong engulfing candle to the lower end of the range. You're breaking through it, and now you're gonna, I think this is going to be a next target, right? This pivot low, and then if that breaks, then you want to look for that next potential shelf or that next potential level of support, and that could be around 560. When you're priced to perfection, you're gonna see these moves, especially if the street doesn't like it after. I'm not gonna say that we can't recover, but just the momentum to the downside is just going like, go with the flow, wait for those pullbacks, and if you do end up getting involved with the long, just be cautious on what's going on, right? Keep an eye on the tape. If every time you get a pop, it's immediately met by some resistance and you see it flush right back down, then it's like, okay, this isn't as strong as I thought it was going to be. There will be opportunities. We're still relatively early here in the session, but just keep an eye out on that. I tried to catch the bottom twice on IBIT, and I'm like, you know what, that's not the move, so let's avoid this thing at all costs. We took 3 trades on it, one of them worked, the other 2 didn't, and that's fine. This is a big time momentum play to the downside. This is almost waterfall type price action. So whatever happened on yesterday's session, leading even into the post market, you're right back to where you started, a little bit less. So we open up around 51.13. We're trading at $51 right now. So keep that in mind, guys. Really, really weak stuff. I had my eyes on it thinking that we get a continuation. We'll look at it from the daily, because look where we open up. Top end of the range. Okay, maybe we can make a move into 54 or something along those lines and get somewhat of a bounce, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So maybe some more consolidated price action we'll see in IBIT, guys. Now, as for Tesla, I got my eyes on this one. If I'm going to grab something on the longs, it's going to either be NVDA or Tesla, because you can get the rebound. But once again, I just gave you a whole spiel on what I'm thinking is the market might head a little bit lower, and it's going to take some time. Christmas rally, fine. We get a couple of days of solid buying, but what happens when we head into the new year? Things might cool down. We know the summer is a relatively, I mean, the volumes are light, but that's good because there's less volatility and you can just steadily climb higher. And I mean, we're not going to probably tank into the summer, but anything can happen at any given moment. So keep your eyes out and be ready and prepared to do anything at any given moment, guys.
Well said, Joey. Well said. Very well said. All right, I'm back into OCG, guys. We got 2s, and I've wet the beak up into 50. It's having trouble clearing 50. Here comes 50 again. 48 showing up now. We need to get decisively above that 50 penny area, because even though the high of the day is 81, It is really not spending that much time in front of 50. And there's the 5-minute on the bottom screen. Look at that. Moved on a 2-candle basis through that 50 penny area. Look, again, finding resistance at 50. So I do like the higher lows. So I think that the shorts here, shorting in front of 50, may be in trouble. It depends on whether they're in trouble now or in trouble later. But the higher lows here are accumulating for 50 decisive break. It's broken through 50 before, as I've mentioned. The high of the day is 81, but it spends very little time there. So I'm kind of the bias at the moment that the shorts really are trying to use that $0.50 area as their springboard to push this one down. Otherwise, you know, it's an aggressive profit taker in and around that $0.50, which I have my doubts about. Guys, I need to bring your attention to another one. Shout out to Yannick, NCPL, looking real freaking good here. And a good price too, $1.47, much like OCG that we're trading. And this one's got a 163 high and very respectful of trend. So be on the lookout here. NCPL, that's the ticker. It's up 35 1/5, 35 1/4, looking to do some damage here on this one. I want to set up in a bit of a better way, much like I set up on OCG. I want to get in near the volume weighted average price, which currently right now is about 10 pennies removed from where we are, about $1.37. So one high 30s. Let's keep an eye here on NCPL. It just cleared 40. It's going to make a possibly here another attempt through the $0.50. It's a 163 high. Here we are above the $0.50 again. Should we be getting in here? The answer is yes. Dip trade into 50. I'm going to defend into 40 pennies, okay? So there we go. We're in at 53. Let's throw in some profit takers now for a price spike up. Let's see what we get, and we won't get upset, but I will defend this one into the volume weighted average price, which is currently showing me 38s. So where'd I get in again? I got 53s. So let's go ahead and wait a little bit lower here. I said 38s. I defend into 38, so you don't want to get too much too quickly. Let's put at 45. And then, OCG coming back in against me here. Need to be alive to this. Just want to make sure he doesn't lose a 10 EMA on the 5, because that $0.50 seller here on OCG is a little bit of a bugger. He's dampening my my long party here on OCG. But I've already put in my stop on this one, so I don't want to worry too much about it. Let's go back now to NCPL. I want to put another dip trade for that 38 that I was talking about. Obviously, we're going to front run it. You know, that's just my style. We're going to go 42s here. Oh, no. OCG stopped out. We take that little bit break even there. There's the stop out. There's the red triangle. OCG is looking like it's heading back to that 120 area where the volume weighted average price is. Breakdown on OCG. Let's focus now on NCPL, as this one's still holding trend. It's not making any lower lows, but I don't have that many shares. So looking to get more here, Joey, into 40, yes, into the mid 40s, and then the low 40s as well. We've got 53s on, break even at the moment.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Oh, whoa, I was going to show you. Oh, wow. If you guys know what time it is, put it in the chat. I want to see what you guys think, but we do this every day. That's going to be the hint. We do it every day. And for those who guessed it, it is time for the top performing sectors. All right, guys, let's see what we got going on. Consumer staples leading the way. You got a breakout?
Breakout happening right now on NCPL, guys. There it goes into the high of the day. The breakout is on. It's 50 pennies. Watch for a rejection at HOD 63, Joey. Just want to bring that to their attention.
All right, go. Free Fall Friday so far. I mean, we had a lot of rocking and rolling. But there it is, guys. Consumer staples leading the way. You're up about 0.4%. Healthcare sitting around the same neck of the woods, guys. Real estate holding on by a thread, 0.06% green. But you guessed it, leading the way to the downside is the tech sector. Down 2 3/4 roughly, guys. Energy sitting in that second last place. Industrials down 0.75%. Now, as for today, guys, we can see that the Nasdaq down 1.5%. We have the IWM down 1 1/3. SPY down 1%, and then the Dow down
another
3/4.
HOD yesterday, all-time high.
Yeah. On the Dow and on the IW.
Yes, sir.
So shout out to those two.
Shut them out.
And shut them out. But there it is, guys. On the week, the worst performing obviously going to be the Nasdaq down 2%, 0.7 right here, and then IWM positive and the Dow positive, all right? And in the past month, IWM in the past month, Sharif,
where is it at?
4.5%, baby, where the Nasdaq is down 1.23%. Crazy stuff.
It's a crazy world, Joey.
Yeah, crazy world we live in. It's a mad world. You know that song?
Yeah.
I like that song, man. Shout out Donnie Darko, one of the greatest.
Thanks for not setting me up for failure this time. I know you never do it on purpose. It's really mean.
Hey, man, it's all right, man. The less TV, the better. But no, other than that, guys, I'm big chilling right now. You can call me Joey Chills because we're just relaxing, waiting for some possible setups, waiting for those pullbacks and then the continuation to the downside. So we're going to rock and roll. I'm actually on the side here for you guys who are actually curious what I'm doing. This is how relaxed I am. Your boy's booking his haircut. That's crazy for tomorrow. So, I mean, Joey chills with his girls. Oh, but yeah. No, but yeah, man, we're just we're chilling. Shreve's got that small caps. It seems like it's going to be that type of world today, Shreve, because it's going oppo. We had IWM hitting all-time highs yesterday as well, too. I mean, they're definitely in play today because you're catching big-time breakouts.
They're breaking out right now, Joey, and we're doing it freaking live again on NCPL, man.
Hold on, bro. Sports clips. That's crazy. Watch your tone around me, my friend. Watch your tone. No,
who is that person?
Sports clips, man. That's crazy.
I want to see what he said, man. What did he say, Joey?
He knows what he says.
He's laughing.
Yeah. Watch your tone.
Wow.
He's only playing. He's only playing.
Now?
That's why I was.
Come on, sports clips,
crazy,
man. That's crazy.
Man. Yesterday was a doggy bag. Today is like what hair, bro?
Wow.
The disrespect.
Yo, we got to make that trip, Joey. Make that trip. Nobody's going to be talking. Nobody's going to be talking.
Crazy.
All right, man. We're having a good time. All right, guys. NCPL coming in. I only have one beak wetter left on this one. So this current candle has a lower high, but a higher low. It's still above VWAP. I'm trying to think maybe it should be getting in a little bit more. It didn't fill any of my other orders. As you can see, the cyan lines there unfilled. So here's what we're doing. We're going to add a little bit over here, Joey, and then that changes our cost basis by a little bit there, which is okay. So let's go ahead and post for a price spike up. What's my move now that I've added in? I'm still looking to defend. The 10 EMA on the 5 is still at 1 high 30s. The volume weighted average price is at 1 mid to low 40s. Here we go. Let's see if we get a price spike up. 55s now showing up. Let's see if we can get continuation. I posted at 56 with the new ad and then above into the 60s. But nothing changes on my plan so long as this holds trend. So there we go. Let's go ahead and post for the dip trades. Now that we've got a little bit more in, we're going to go just like that. And then we're going to do exactly what we said, man. We're going to go right down here, and we're going to hold right there. And there it goes again. Now got filled again into the high 50s. So let's look for continuation now above the 60s. This candle is a candle. It's an engulfed candle, meaning the prior candle covers it from the high side and from the low side. So I don't know what to make of this at the moment, but packing the patience here, looking to run up into the mid 60s and building the position best I can. Keep tagging me with new small cap gappers if any make their way onto the scene, because sometimes it's just really hard for me to see them come in on the scanner while I'm trying to trade, right? So I would appreciate you guys doing that, and you guys do a great job too. Shout out to everybody who always helps out there in the chat. What are you looking at, Joey?
Good stuff, man. We're just checking out right there. We've locked it in 10 a.m. bright and early tomorrow. We're going to go and catch my boy A&D from Argentina, my boy over there. So good work as always. We'll do that a little bit later. But yeah, I'm just looking at some names, guys. I told you, I'm waiting for this market to really cool down. We can see that the momentum is to the downside. So really nice short there by Katina, man, right out of the gate. Breaks through some key support levels. I mean, the pre-market lows, and then it's off to the races to the downside with this one. I was thinking about taking a short on RIVN, but at the end of the day, man, if you're going to hold up this strong against a market that's selling that aggressively, I don't like our chances. At some point throughout the session, you may get a little bit more of a downside move, but you have to be patient and wait and see until that comes. I'm not going to force anything. So a lot of people are talking about Tom Lee's hair and stuff like that in the chat, so I had to pull up ETHA. Yeah, I mean, it looks like the guy just hops out of bed every day, literally, with this.
He has like amazing hair.
Yeah, I know, but it's like sometimes it's like he just wakes up and he's like, all right, let me go talk about the tech game and all of these things. So I mean, here it is.
Talk about the tech game. Yeah. I love that, bro. I get paid. We get paid to talk about the tech game every day, and that's a beautiful thing.
That's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah. If only I had Tom Lee's hair, that'd be nice. But no, in all seriousness, a nice little bottoming signal there on ETHA. IBIT, man, I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship with this name. So if it decides that it wants to get somewhat of a bounce, then maybe we'll take an additional one. We're already we're 1 for 3, sorry, on this, and 2 strikeouts, right? So a ball and a couple strikeouts. So I only got one more until I'm off the plate, and I have to wait for the next rotation, and that might be some time in Bitcoin. We will get rocking and rolling at some point, but I mentioned this before. We're gonna go back in the history of Bitcoin for quite some time. The length of some of the consolidations, I was not in love with for an extended period. And it was really fishy to me. And if you go to my X in October, I literally said, Sharif, there's something fishy. I posted on at TraderTV Joseph. I said, there's something weird going on in the crypto space. For some reason, we're not making those strong legs up like we have before. And I would literally typed crypto winter.
Really?
Yeah, I swear. I'll pull it up here.
I believe you. You say you said it.
Yeah. And then sure enough, this was in early October after it hit it on my birthday. I'm like, we should have exceeded that 126 level and went to that next leg, 135, 140, whatever it may be. And we never got that. So something was extremely fishy. So stick to your gut. And I'm not in love with the crypto space right now. If it continues to sell off, then I'm going to like it a little bit more. I'm not throwing it out the window or anything along those lines. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you ask me, it's not the time for crypto. It will come back around. It's just a matter of time. Hey, Super Chat, pull it up. No. So Joe, yo, wagwan yard, man. Enough respect. Big up yourself, man. Yo, manners and respect, brother. Shout out to all the people in Jamaica. I hope everyone's having a fantastic time. Weather obviously being relatively nice. You know where we're at. We're at Salt River when I'm down there all the time. So thanks for the much love and big up everyone for the family and the friends. Manners and respect, brother. Thank you very much for that Super Chat. One more thing, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
User MB3, hey Joe, no hate to you, but just curious what your stance is on Bitcoin and crypto. Use is being more and more used for drug cartels, black market transactions, and scamming innocent people. Why long? I mean, you got to think about it. I understand that you think that there's the scamming aspect.
Does the cartel use cash as well?
Yeah, well, that's what I was just about to get at,
Do
right?
scam artists use cash as well?
I was just about to get at that.
I didn't know. I'm just asking.
No, I was literally about to make that point. It's like, okay, I understand that it has a bad reputation for that, but think about where money laundering comes from, the transportation of drugs and goods, which Sharif was mentioning, credit card scams. Like, I get it. You can have that point of view, but there's other ways that individuals scam as well too, whether it be taking money or the telephone scams, taking money from elderly people. It's not just Bitcoin, and I get that you have that opinion because it's still, I'm not going to say a new technology, something that we're just not used to, but I don't think it's right to throw it into the garbage because there is positive use cases for it as well too.
I got to say, I always have to take this opportunity. If you steal from old people, you are some kind of
you are the lowest of the low.
You're some kind of
Yeah.
Like people who steal from seniors who are on a fixed budget, that makes me angry. And I don't get angry. I get annoyed, but I don't get angry. That gets me angry.
Yeah, no, it's a legit question, right?
No, I'm not talking about that person. That person is entitled to that. That's a very fair question.
That's a very fair question, absolutely.
I'm just talking about people who steal from old people.
Exactly. It's big time. Like, listen, I get it. If you're my 24, or like I think at the time we were 27 years old, and you fall for a telemarketing scam twice, I can't really say anything to you. Shout out to my old friend there who, Ricky Williams, was apparently one of the scammers there, which I found absolutely comical. Gave his SIM number twice. His SIM number twice. Twice over the phone. I'm like, once understandable, second time, come on,
He didn't do it.
He did.
He didn't do it.
Twice,
That's crazy.
Why?
Twice.
Twice he did it.
This person is making me laugh over here. He's like, so stealing from Sharif would be bad.
Oh,
I know I'm old, bro. You don't have to make me feel bad. I know I'm old, but I don't mind being old, man. All right, here we go, guys. We built a position now into NCPL. I've got 48s on. It's showing me 48s. It just bounced aggressively off the 10 EMA. The problem with this one is it's still suffering from the lower highs and lower lows. And now it's having trouble with that dreaded $0.50 again, like the same problem we were having on OCG with that $0.50. Last OCG now up above the $0.50. It's like almost at 160. Let's see if we can clear. We're showing a lot of selling here on NCPL right at that $0.50. Can we get a little bit high? We're going to wet the beak right there. We've got shares on this one now. We built the position in. Again, the $0.50 rejects. Looking for continuation there above the half. Let's see if it comes to fruition. Also, Fluffy Hippo letting me know about a very good one. I already knew about this one, Fluffster, but thank you for pointing it out as well. CLYM looking awfully good. I made the case that this one was putting in a nice compression pattern with some higher highs. Higher lows, lower highs. Broken trend a little bit now. It's still above $3. Here's the deal, Fluffsters. We're going to get in. And we're going to give it to 3. Right, we're going to get in here, and we're going to go 298, and then we'll give this one a little bit of room. So if this one wants to run up a little bit, give us an opportunity to wet the beak in the mid-teens, and then we'll put some in the high teens as well, and then we'll take a gander at this one later. So continuing to watch here on NCPL, nothing doing on that one. Still suffering from the lower highs. New candle opened up now. What does this new candle bring? Is it going to bring any new buyers? The answer to that, at least initially, is no, as this one looks destined to continue on that lower low, lower high downtrend. If it loses that 140, that's going to be my line in the sand because that is the 10 EM on the 5. So let's go ahead and throw that stop in right now. Can give this one right that, and then we'll just go exactly like that. What else we got? I want to keep my eye on OCG because Bovin rightly pointed out that it was back above the $0.50, but it is now having trouble with 160. Funny enough, we were having trouble with 150 before. Now we're having trouble with 160 as we dip down again into that 150 area. So it looks like none of these small caps are spared, or they're taking their time off here during the midday. Oh no, NCPL just lost the bid aggressively. Thank goodness we put in that stop. So we go negative on NCPL after having a really good couple of trades. We aggressively add, and that ends up getting me a little bit of trouble. So we're still positive on the day, but we're negative now on NCPL. This one's gonna have to change its tune a little bit for me to get involved with this one again because that failure was a no good. Now we're gonna keep an eye here on OCG because that one is the one that's holding up at the 10 EM on the 5. So my move here on OCG is to continue to try to ride the higher lows. Keeping an eye on that. We'll get in a little bit here. And then I'm going to look to average into that $1.25. The $1.25 is the volume weighted average price. So that's what I'll be looking to build my position on right there. So let's go ahead into the low, oops, that's not what I want to do. Into the low 140s. We'll throw in that order right there, right into the low area, and then in the mid 130s as well. So let's see what OCG has to offer. Hopefully we don't go negative on OCG as well because we started off positively on this one. CLYM is going to be a much slower mover, so be careful with this one. Build your position in and then look for that continuation. Or Alpha, CGC is squeezing again. Oh, into the high of the day, you are absolutely right. CGC is up almost 40% on the back of President Trump, rumored to be looking to change the marijuana or cannabis scheduling from 1 to 3 or 3 to 1, I forget what it is. Anyways, downgrading it in severity. And as a result, there's going to be many positive things that come for the companies who deal in cannabis south of the border.
So that's going to be on a federal level. So what's it going to be like state by state?
It's not legalization.
Yeah, yeah, state by state.
Still state by state.
Yeah.
It's still state by state until the Fed comes in and then overtakes their framework. But we'll have to wait and see. What the good news is, Joey, they'll be able to bank a little bit better. They'll be able to write off business expenses, whereas now they couldn't, right? So even though you expend business costs in the business of cannabis, you weren't able to claim those as expenses. So there's a lot coming there. For Skims 613, do you ever see if the gappers have news? Look, for the news component of the gappers, I'm only interested in them if I'm looking for a multi-day runner. If there's not a multi-day runner, I really don't care because I'm looking at the technicals. I know that's not what people want to hear. I know people like to associate news with price action. I've just seen so many small cap gappers and traded so many. I don't really care about the news unless I'm swinging, you know, a multi-day play. So that's kind of what I have to say about that. Now, there are those who feel that a good news catalyst prevents, you know, aggressive retracements on these small cap gappers. You know why I'm always complaining that they're around for a good time, not a long time. People have the opinion that if there's a positive, really sound news catalyst, then they're not going to give it up in the way that some small cappers do. And I think that's fair. That's a fair point to make. I just let the technicals speak to me. If it breaks down below the 10, it breaks down below VWAP, it loses me as a trader, and I'll likely get stopped out. I'm not going to be bag holding these. So to answer your question, yes in certain cases, no in others. I hope that didn't convolute the issue a little bit more. And I hope I helped. Okay, CLYM, we're taking prints. We got 9s on. We just wet the beak there at 16. Now looking for 19. Shout out to Fluffsters. She pointed CLYM out to me, even though I already knew about it. Now we're taking prints as well, Joey, here on OCG, despite the fact that we've got no beak wetter set up. We got 150. There it is, Bovin. You wanted us to get back in. We got in, Bovin. There, let's post now at 60. We just took 58s. Let's see if we can get above 60. Now that pesky 60 area is acting like the 50 area where the shorts are setting up. So OCG, higher lows, looking for that flat top now through 160 up 72%. Pleased with this one. Let's see what else we got in terms of comments. VFF says Bovin. That one apparently is moving up. I haven't really looked at that one yet, Bovin. Let's take out some over here. We'll put in VFF, see what Bovin's talking about. Not too bad, not too bad. 1 to 3 says Jam Lucky. What does that mean, brother? Let me know what you mean by that. I don't understand. Or Alpha, they say just now announcement is Monday. What? All the banks open for cannabis companies. Banking is the play. That's what I like, that thinking, Aura, man. I like that thinking. Thinking of, like, you know, or alternative trades, or, you know, corollary trades, connected trades. Bang on thinking there. I absolutely love it. Shout out to you. I didn't even know that they had made that announcement, but we know that that is a fact, right? Being Schedule 1 or 3 or whatever it is, prevents you from banking in certain ways, whereas others will be permitted. Thank you for mentioning that. What else we got over here? Junker, Junu Kerr. You don't need to read those kind of names. I don't know what you mean. Let's see what else. What's his name? John Del Segno, Joe, Sharif. Thoughts on NVIDIA, 175 bounce. We're close. You want to give him that look?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We're going to try a little long here on Rivian unrealized. I'm down on it unrealized right now, guys. You can see we're down 8 cents. I'm not going to give it too much more room as the support levels look like they're going to break. And then I'll just hop out. We will give back the majority of our day, holding on by thread. I couldn't even afford a coffee once we get out of this one, so that's all right. But guys, let me know whenever Aurora Cannabis.
Free in the back, Joey.
Yeah, what's that party?
They're free in the back.
Oh, yeah, they're free in the back. Yeah, well, for free 99. That's not too bad, man. But here it is, guys. Let me know when Aurora Cannabis heads back up to $1,500. Then I might be able to retire. So just let me know.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Exactly. All right. So as for NVDA, hey, man, just calling it how I personally see it doesn't mean it's right or anything along those lines. So the daily here. Key support levels, I mentioned this is the head and shoulders. If we head over to the weekly, you can definitely see it a little bit more clearly. Shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2 being formed, and now you're heading towards some key support levels. So just to eliminate some of the noise, we're going to get this breakdown here at 167. I think we head into that neck of the woods, guys, and then we head into the 150s and everything. The next step is going to be at 152, and I think that can most definitely come into play. This is a shelf that I don't like being seen. Let's just go back and take a look at some of the prior shelves. Okay, you have that shelf, you consolidate for quite some time with the inability to construct a new high, and then sure enough, boom, you tank all the way to $87 from 153 to 87. That's a 43% haircut. I'm not saying that's necessarily going to be the case right now, but it's looking like that's going to happen. At this point, it's going to be down 27%, which I think is somewhat reasonable considering that seems to be the new narrative. You pull back 20, you head right back into the bear markets, and then you buy it back up. So it's just a dip that was never bought. And there goes Rivian to the downside. Let's see if we can get a solid rebound. There is buyers engaged here, but maybe not right now. So unrealized, I am going from a green to a red session, guys.
OCG's breaking out. Here we go. What do we have? We have 50s. There's 68. You know where I'm waiting. I already got it because the price spike up took it above that. Let's post now at 77s, looking for the continuation. We know that this one has had aggressive shorting into the pops. Take a look at the 5-minute chart. 1055 candle. That's the 181 high, and then all hell broke loose to the downside. 71s now showing up. 72s. 73s, Joey. Looking for 77s here. Why does my chair go down? Maybe it's because I'm getting excited.
The mass, man.
I don't know, bro. I don't understand, man. The chairs, it must be Rachel, the ghost that, you know, that
we could just
haunts
blame
the floor.
On Rachel.
Apparently, Ram's friends with her. Shout out to Rachel. Just don't haunt me. There we go. Breaking out. There we go. We get 75 on OCG. You know, you didn't see the group chat? You didn't see the group chat?
Rachel, yeah, regarding
yeah,
Rachel.
so you know about that.
Yeah, I know about
okay.
Rachel. Yeah, I mean, we were talking not too long ago.
You were talking to Rachel?
Yeah.
Is she nice?
She's all right, man.
Yeah.
We're cool.
That's nice.
She told me just watch my step and
watch your step, eh? Don't step out of line, in other words, right?
Duppy. We
I don't know what that means, Joey. Yeah, I know. John Tantrum. I thought she was going to work from home today, Ram, so I went on her computer because she remotes in. And I talk smacked her. I opened up a window on Google Docs, and I was like talking crap to her, but I don't think she's in, man.
Where is she not here today?
I don't even know, man.
She's not flat.
She put like a picture of us in on the show when she's in her hubby's car.
Yeah. What's up
yesterday? I don't even know,
It must
man.
be nice, eh?
It must be nice, yeah, to work from the car.
Yeah.
Our CLYM breaking out, Joey. There it is. There's 23. Shout out to Fluffy. Let's put the beak here at 25. CLYM almost up 40%. Very strong. That's not cool, man. Shout out to Fluffy Hippo. I got to talk smack to her, man. Yeah, you have no idea, Fluffy Hippo, the kind of, vitriol that I have to put up with from Ram. It's tough. It's a toxic work environment, quite frankly.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, Ram is who she is, right? All right, so we're doing good here. Very happy with the trade so far. We're taking OCG long. We're taking CLYM long. But guys, these are not moving up in a straight line. So I want to take the opportunity that they're stair-stepping up to add more on the way up, like I've been kind of doing here with OCG. So long as they're holding trend, right? If they move in, they pull into the 10, they pull into 20 VWAP, whatever the level of support that I'm looking at is, I want to take the opportunity to add a little bit here. So yeah, Kevin Camacho, that's what I do, brother. I trade small cap gappers. Some of them are penny stocks, but does the money taste differently if it comes from a large cap or a small cap? I don't know. Let me know, brother, because I felt that they tasted the same. So we're going to keep an eye here on OCG, and we're going to keep an eye on CLYM. I'm also interested in getting back into NCPL if it gets back above that $1.45. That $1.45 is the volume weighted average price. So I'll be looking to that one, Joey.
All right, good stuff, man. Yeah, we're still sitting here in Rivian. We're at approximately 11 cents OTM right now. I'm out at 1870s, so we're going to give this one 20. Then other than that, my risk to reward ratio is just not going to be worth it. I would hold this until we establish a lower high or construct a new one, but a big time daily breakout. If the market was significantly stronger, I think this is one of the patterns. And who was it? Somebody and I were talking about sports, and it wasn't sports and stonks. No, I don't think it was. But Netflix, bull flag. I mean, we both agreed that if the market was stronger, then we would have got that continuation. And I think it's going to be the same narrative here in RIVN. MSOS is forming a bull flag here, though, so that might be another opportunity for a long. Some positive catalysts coming out of there. So maybe I just want to stick with that. Get out of some of these car manufacturers and tech names and head over to the marijuana space to see if it wants to get any higher here. I mean, on that good stuff. I think this could be a massive level here. If we can break that 532, that's a pretty solid position in my opinion. Other than that, yeah, oh, there we go. 1870, 69. We're out of the RIVN trade, guys. Going from red to green on the day. So we give it all back on IBIT and on RIVN. But that's okay. We'll figure something else. Let's head over to the marijuana space, guys, and get involved in this because I do like this bull flag breakout. I just think it's going to take some time in order for it to kind of just take that next leg higher, but we can position ourselves relatively well. Get out at the lower end of the range. 15 cents worth of risk, guys.
All right, guys, we took it out right there. OCG into 178. Good look there. We had 150s on, so we'll continue to ride this trend. I ran out of shares, so I need to get a little bit more now. I'm going to wait for a retracement. I don't want to take a breakout trade. I realize that there's a 180 high, but it's just not my style of trading, okay? So I'm gonna wait for a retracement, likely into that 160-ish, maybe, mid 160, and then we'll look to add a little bit more. Again, so long as that's predicated upon, of course, it holding trend of the higher lows and the higher highs, about which we speak almost daily. So OCG, monster seller at 77. The shorts are really targeting OCG, and they were targeting NCPL as well. But I still think that they're going to be probably outdone right now for the moment by the longs because we keep making higher freaking highs and higher lows. Here's 180. It's a 181 high. Maybe we'll take the opportunity into a 181 high. It touches that high a day, comes back down, and we catch that higher low, and we get some more shares. So I'm still holding my CLYM trade, but I'm really focusing here on OCG because it's the faster of the two, faster moving of the two, of course. Now, The issue about trying to get some shares back in after a high of day touch and a drop back down is you're always susceptible to a possible double top. If it comes back into that same area and then drops back down, you know, you don't really know. So here it is. Now we're going to get some here. And oh, we didn't even get it, man. So strong is the price action. It didn't even let me in, Joey. There it is, now dipping down. So we're going to pick that up. What do we get? We got 69. Okay, very good. We're going to wait as well in the low 60s to get some more into this. There we go, dipping back down. Let's see if we can get some a little bit lower. So this candle still has a higher low, so it's a good look. Let's go ahead and wait up here at 75, and then we're going to wait above the high of the day, of course, for that 82 print now, right? Because the high of the day is 81. But I'm not done trying to add into this position. So the current candle just opened up on the 5. There we go, looking for a continuation above that 181. I don't want to necessarily see, though, anything below 158. Why? 158 is prior bar low. I'm looking for trend continuation, right? So I should let you know as well that that 158 is prior bar low, but when you're looking at the 10 EMA on the 5, it's 154. So let's go ahead and set up some more profit or dip trades over here. We're going to go ahead into 160, see if we can get something in and around 160. How's my CLYM trade doing? Let's take a quick look. Right into the high of the day again, into 25s. Looking for that 25 cross, though. It hasn't crossed 25, which is why I didn't get the print showing 24s now, but no print from my side as of yet. There's 25 again on the level 2, but no continuation, so no print. OCG back over here, showing that 70 print still, higher lows on the 5-minute chart. So looking for that continuation into 181, Joey. What do you got, my man?
Yeah, good look there, brother. All right, I'm just telling Gorv, I'm posted up at 1880s here on RIVN to see if we can catch a fill. Same thing here with 515s on MSOS. I'm going full size here on the Rivian play and looking for a small move. There it goes, eh? Yeah, nice call out on that one, Gorv. A little late to the dance on RIVN, but that's okay. We'll be patient and wait for it to come back into our level, and we will not chase. So we go 0 for 1 on that. We'll get a little bit better of an entry here at 1808. Then I only have to risk 10 cents to the low, and that's what I like to do. So you guys have been seeing that within my trading for the past little while. A big time breakout.
Wow, Joey. Ahead, wow, OCG is it. It's him. Again, man. Again, we added at 69s, and we just took out 88s. This one is all gas, no freaking brakes right now. Over 100% now, Joey, on OCG. The breakout is on. It's likely a $2 touch. I love when Mike the Rider says, "Go ahead." I love that. It's like British, right? You ever hear the British people like, "Go on, go on, son." Yeah. Right? I love that. It's very British, but he says, "Go ahead." So I'm down with that, Mike. I'm down with that bigly. So there it is, OCG, Joey, just holding trend. There was a seller at 81s where the high of the day was. He got decimated. I told him to run for his life. He didn't listen to me. So too bad. Oh, there's oh, wow, okay. We're gonna have to see if I can read this, Joey. I'm gonna have to try to read these. Okay, so I know some of the letters.
Wow, Rivian.
There's D. Oh yeah, I can't read that. I'm not gonna try to pretend like I can read it. Why market so weak? A speech will cause sell down. Speech? No, it's actually not Jerome Powell's speech. I think you're thinking about the FOMC meeting. It's likely, brother, it's Broadcom and the AI trade that people are getting concerned about. But I just have to pause for a second because there it is. OCG in the $2 freaking dollars. It is a $2 high of day now on OCG. Monster seller at 2. Look for the drop. Into, after touching 2, look for the drop, possibly into the high mid-80s. I'm going to look to be picking up some there if you don't get an immediate breach. OCG is him right now. Yeah, but to answer your question, I don't think it's really Jerome Powell's speech. I thought, that was awfully bullish. The market reacted really well to his speech, you'll recall, and then it sold off aggressively in the aftermarket, not yesterday, but the day before because of the Oracle earnings, which the market, is looking at as sort of I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, is they're trying to gauge the AI trade vis-a-vis, Oracle earnings, et cetera. And the fact is they missed on revenue and their debt load is quite high. And then Broadcom yesterday, Huck Tan refusing to basically guide past 1 quarter, but he did informally say on the call, I heard it, that he expects much more in the way of orders to come in from what is already on the books now. So I happen to believe Broadcom is going to do quite well because I feel that there are savings to be had for some of the hyperscalers and for companies like even Rivian, who is not a hyperscaler, to make their own custom chips and kind of circumvent the NVIDIA GPUs, which are obviously much more expensive and much higher margin. So that's kind of what I feel about that. I'm not necessarily bullish or bearish, excuse me, at all.
People saying war too with
Venezuela,
the Venezuelan conflict. Apparently, a lot of people are talking about that as well.
I personally don't see that as bearish at all for AI. In fact, I think it's probably bullish for AI. They start using drones and stuff like that. I hate to say it like so casual, Joey, but war does have a way of boosting certain industries, and I think AI might be one of them.
Yeah, it's extremely innovative, unfortunately, at the loss of extreme.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's real ugly. It's really look, I'm not happy about war taking place on our side of the continent if that's going to be what happens, Joey. But at the same time, I don't want 100,000 Americans dying every year, and there's plenty of Canadians dying. We see them every day outside doing the fentanyl. So if you believe that some of the issues with drugs are coming from that side, then all right, give me a second here. We got the breakout here on OCG. Shout out to Bovin who called out. He's like, look, brother, you got to take out the breakout. There it is again. It's a new high a day on OCG right now in the 208. Looking for continuation here. What do we have on, man? These advertisements kill me. 195. There we go. We have more. Let's go ahead and wait a little bit up here. We're going to wait into 20s. Let's see if we get continuation. The breakout now is on. There's a seller, though, at 14. A big seller at 14. Watch out for a reversion here. As sometimes we clear that whole dollar level and then all hell breaks loose. Watching 11 now, the selling coming in at 11. It was at 14 prior. So now the sellers posted up at 11. That's a lower high on the book or on the book. So be careful here. Look at that. We can't shake that 11 seller. This could be trouble here or an opportunity to get more, really depending on your philosophical bend. So happy with the entry. We got 195s on, and it's showing me 218 high. So good breakout there. Shout out to Bovin. Thank you for calling that out, brother. As I was kind of digressing, talking about war and stuff like that. So got to keep it focused here on the small caps. Joey.
Focused.
I'm focused, man.
Oh, yeah.
Stop hollering at me, man.
Where's that from?
I forget.
Focus, man.
Neil knows.
All right, 1808, guys. That's where it posted up. Almost came into that level. I mean, it never hit the bid. Otherwise, we would have caught that fill. And I posted up on SLV. Thanks, Score, for that shout out right there. So I'm not going to take any other price than 55.30s, and that's what we're going to aim for. Try to hit this move up into 55.86. That'll give us a nice 5-to-1 if we're fortunate enough. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We need the fill. We need price to come back into that level and just hope that momentum doesn't really start to pick up to the downside. So what I was talking about earlier, guys, you're going to have to find your places of strength. The tech game obviously relatively weak here today. So whatever happened on yesterday's session, say see you later to that. We're now south of those specific zones. And then also pop, boom, micro pullback essentially, and you said sell right back off once again. So keep that in mind, guys. Try not to fight the trend, even though I am trying to go long Rivian. Understand that Rivian is relatively strong on today's session, and then as for silver, it's been pretty strong as of late. But the thing is, look at this strong engulfing candle as well, too. A lot of strong I got going on, but hey, it is what it is. We'll hold off on Rivian. We'll try to find something. MSOS has been a slow grind. I think volume will step into this at some point, and then you'll get a nice pop to the top side. Look at this daily. I think this is amazing. And how funny is $3.67. It just engulfs so much of this range right here in one trading session. So when we talk about the stairs up, elevators down, I've mentioned that it can happen in the opposite direction as well too. You get to take the elevator up, and then sure enough, boom, stairs on the way down. So not too bad. MSOS, SLV starting to come into that level. And I'm now long Rivian at 1880s, 10 cents better than our prior entry. We're giving that one 10 cents. Once we get out of that trade, then that is going to be it. We'll have to be a little bit more patient and find something else to trade. I mean, I told you guys that we were nicely green on the morning. Unfortunately, we did give it all back, and then now we're going to hold up. If it breaks this low on RIVN, then we have to get out of Dodge. I only got 7 more cents, and it looks like the momentum is most definitely to the downside here, Sharif, so not too good if it looked for Rivian.
Can I show you something?
Absolutely.
This is Broadcom.
Yeah.
Okay, this is AVGO.
Yep.
50. The red is the 50 EMA.
Yep.
Hold. 50. Hold.
Oh, and I'm
bro.
Sylvie.
50 kind of hold.
Kind of hold.
And now here's 50 again.
Yeah, I think that with that candle there, I think the momentum is just a little bit too strong.
Too strong.
For it to bounce off immediately.
Do you think we lose prior low? 330? Like that 340 to 330 area, this area over here?
Yeah, I do. I think over time we do lose that.
We do, eh?
Yeah. Again, I think if NVDA heads into the 70s, or lower 70s, I should say, in the high 60s, I think that's going to be the case.
Fair.
It's going to drag the market.
It's going to drag the market down. All right. This is definitely interesting to me because we, from all-time highs, which were essentially a couple of days ago, to now, we're down 15%.
Oh, wow, SLV, let's go.
Yeah, so we're down big. But we didn't spend too much time up there. That was the algo spike in the aftermarket, to be fair, right? And then we dropped because CO Huck Tan started spitting hot lines on the earnings call. That's what I'm talking about there. There's the price spike up into 425. So you spent all of 15, 30, 45, an hour. You spent an hour there. This is the 15-minute chart on AVGO, and then all hell's broken loose since that time. I've always wanted to get into AVGO, but I just couldn't, stomach the price action, and I think I'm going to have an opportunity to get in. So I'm going to get in slower than I did on Meta. I got in too aggressively, too quickly on Meta, so I'm going to be building my Broadcom position here, which I really have never been involved in. I don't think what we heard yesterday or what we saw from the earnings report is all that bearish. The only thing that I can think of personally that hurts Broadcom is if people go at it, companies go at custom silicon designs alone and they circumvent Broadcom. Recall that Broadcom's not making anything, right? All the chips are being made by Taiwan Semi mostly, right? Broadcom is helping these hyperscalers design custom silicon, but if they put that design or they allocate that design money in-house like Apple has done with the M&A and Rivian has shown us that they're going to do that yesterday as well, then Broadcom gets hurt because then they get circumvented as well. So I don't know. I don't think that everybody wants to allocate those kind of resources and have, their own chip designing department. So I think that they stick with the Marvells, the Broadcoms. That's my bias. And so I think I'm going to be building a position here on AVGO, just not as aggressively as I did with MetaJoy.
I think that's a great idea, to be honest with you. I mentioned this time and time again. You hit that $1 trillion club, you're an elite group of individuals. And I think that Netflix can be one of the next up, in my opinion. So when you see these massive, remember when the market was all about FANG, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, right. Netflix, Google? I think that's going to be the same. I don't think it changes. Just because we're here from a day-to-day standpoint, just kind of micromanaging everything, I don't think the narrative in the bigger picture changes. Neil talks about it all the time. I think it's just great opportunities, and the more experience you gain, and I'm not saying that I have the most. I'm heading in my 5th year, but what I have in my short duration in trading is that these guys are big boys for a reason, and I'm not going to underestimate them just because they have like a certain period of time where they're not performing well, or there's a lot of catalysts up under them that say, hey, we're in fear of this bubble, we're this, that, right. We're this, that. In my opinion, I think at the end of the day, Sharif, Meta you're involved with, Broadcom you want to get involved with. I think those are absolutely fantastic plays. But what we are is absolutely fantastic right now, Sharif, is silver, and this is going to be our best trade of the day so far if we can continue to climb higher. I mean, if I realize everything right now, I'd be higher at a higher point than what I was earlier this morning. But a nice pop up there in Rivian. We're almost at a 1-to-1. I can take a little bit off on RIVN, which I'm going to do. Maybe we'll go 30% right there. So we'll take some off on RIVN, and let's go silver. IO silver away as we take up. There we go, 2-to-1 on silver. Gorb, that's why we wait for good prices, brother. Bang!
Boy,
all right,
Joey.
I don't want to panic or anything like that, but there it is. We're back into it. Ooh, what a move on both of these names. I'm going to pull up silver momentarily, but yeah, I put on the largest amount of size that I have in today's session on both of these names. So let's rock and roll. If this comes back to my break even, I have to get out at 1880s there, Sharif.
All right, sounds good. Good trade there, Joey.
Brother.
Please tell LJS I would like cinnamon 12 milligram Zins when NVIDIA gets to 165 soon. Did you bet with Big Smile?
I might have. I don't even remember my bets with this guy anymore, but anything for you, Big Smile, my brother.
I love Big Smile, bro.
Cinnamon,
even
though.
when we,
what is that
is there
nonsense?
cinnamon ones?
I don't even know, man. We don't even got that around these neck of the woods.
I like
but we'll
how
try.
sometimes we don't even know he's around. Attaboy. Only me hanging. I like how we don't even know he's around. He's listing though, and then I get that.
Guy, man.
I get that DM. I love Big Smile, bro.
You gotta post that one picture. It's absolutely hilarious.
I still got it, my boy.
It's like, oh my God, man, who let you out, man? It's all fun and games. Bro. We're all making fun. All right, so I'm out of Rivian. We got most of that back on that loss, but here it is. Oh my God.
I love this guy, bro. He's such a good vibe, man.
Yeah,
and you can tell he's at the pharmacy there. He's got the
he's at the pharmacy.
Something
he's probably trying to grab his Zins. All right, let's head over to this. Let's head over to this silver trade. It may not look like much, but when you're risking only 10 cents, you put X amount of shares on. We're at 30s. You hit a 2.5 to 1 on that. The chart's not really doing it any justice, but by far one of my better trades on the morning on Realize, that is. So if I lock everything out right now, then that's going to be better than the MSOS trade. So we're right back to where we were earlier in the day, and it's a great, great feeling. Just stick to those guns, stick to your risk to reward ratios, and then sure enough, you'll be able to put on some monster trades. Gorev, that one's all to you, my brother. You pointed that out. We waited for that price to come into play, and look at that, 55.30s, almost a bottom wick on this move right here, and then sure enough, bang, right to the top side.
Just before the ad assassino, I want to read this to you so you have an opportunity to think about it because it's an options thing. D. Westermeyer, a great friend of the show. Sharif, Joe, help. I have 450 out of the money DIA puts, expiry 12/19, and I'm battling the market makers. Every time input the order, they shift. DIA puts, Joey.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to read this.
Can we, are we doing something first?
I'm going to do an ad read. I just wanted to read it for you quickly there.
So D. Westerman, was it a super chat or was it just a regular thing?
Yeah, it's just
okay,
regular.
All right. I'll look into that momentarily. Sorry, I got a lot of size on.
No worries. Okay, no worries. Yeah. All right, OGen guys, concussions demand fast solutions. And that's what you get here with New York listed exchange stock Origenics trading under OGEN. They're developing one designed to reach brain quickly and non-invasively. No, it's okay. Learn more by rescheduling a meeting today. I think we need to revise that. Thank you very much, OGen guys. Make sure to check OGEN on the New York Stock Exchange. Shout out to OGen. D, I don't really know too much about options, brother. We're going to hold off on that right now because Joey's locked in a trade.
Do me a favor. Can you just send that to me on the chat real quick? Because I don't want to. I want to give him a good, solid answer.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. I'll ramble on right now because we did take a little bit more off, so I got some breathing room here. So yeah, as soon as we get that info from Sharif, we'll lock in. Boom. We'll tap in right there. Oh, it's 12 o'clock already. There goes SLV, man. This is my first time actually ever trading this, to be honest with you. We're going to head off to Neil with his lesson of the day. And IO Silver away.
Thanks, gentlemen. And lesson of the day today, usually I'll come out after Adara, but she's taking the day off, so we'll jump right into it. There was a discussion this morning about holding on to trades, or like getting better holding on to trades, or how you can not get out so early or take more profit. And so I wanted to sort of gear it around that, but in a way, of course, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Oftentimes, when people are describing something, or maybe they're trying to explain a concept or an idea or a strategy, the problem lies in that everybody has different time frames, everybody has different definitions and all that stuff, so it can get lost if you're not really clear about what that means. And I think it's exactly the point of where that discussion about you got to hold on to your winners longer gets completely misconstrued. Because everything is relative. Everything is a trade-off. It's what matters if you're like, okay, I need to hold on to the winner longer, but relative to what? You know what I mean? Like, where is it? Like, what is your out? What is the move that you're capturing? What are you risking? You answer those questions first, and then holding a trade becomes sort of relative to that. And your time frame matters. Day trading and swing trading are going to be a little bit different. And then you have to be consistent with it is the other part of it. So what I'm going to start with, actually, and I wanted to do this because like a lot of times we'll show you something that happens like throughout the day, but I want to reference something that was just yesterday. And the example would be, okay, well, let's look at something which tried to work, didn't work, and then did work, and look at what holding the trade actually means in both of these concepts. So I'm long silver yesterday at 56.8 here. Right now, as it's moving to the upside, obviously I only end up getting one fill at about 90, and then I don't get filled at 57 even before trying to reload here at VWAP and stopping out at 70. So I was risking 10 cents. I was actually reloading a little bit tighter than that and then taking about like a 10 penny hit on that. But I also wasn't trying to get anything out until the first 10 cents. And when I reload the exact same price, I actually got a little bit more aggressive on the hold because, well, it had an upward trend. Like I'm catching the falling knife, so I'm taking some out at 1-to-1. But when I'm getting long here again, note something. This is, you've made a low, higher low, hold VWAP, higher low. Is that a better trade? You better believe it's a better trade in my opinion. So therefore, if I'm doing the same idea or concept, going in long just above 80 to then stop it out just around the 70 level, then I want to make sure I'm holding until first resistance. See that first big candle? Like, why would I be getting out there? Like, if I'm risking 10 to 15 pennies in there, why am I getting out in that candle inside of 10 to 15 cents? No, I'll let it travel. If it shows resistance at set 57, then take some out. And then I can, when it holds the trend line there, what am I doing when it holds the trend line? I'm adding back in and risking to the trend line. Now, there's only one exit that I have an issue with. That's this one. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Sometimes what will happen here is I'll get caught with an offer that's already sitting higher on the first bounce. It'll bounce off the trend line again, further confirming it, and I'm just stuck with an order out there that gets filled before I can even cancel it. And that's the downside sometimes of putting orders out there, is like you just get swept up. But there's no reason to be out on that candle. I haven't, maybe a little bit early on this candle, I could have given it 5 or 10 more cents, and then 57.5 was my target. Now what that all adds up to is, oh, did I get 56.8? It was a 60 penny move. Let's just say I ended up going further than that. 60 penny move. Wow, that's 60 pennies risking 10. That's 6-to-1. No, it's not. It's not a 6-to-1 trade. I was long twice at an average price of 56.9, taking 10 cents there, about 15 cents there, and about 20 cents there, and about 30 cents there, and ultimately the best about 60 cents. You do average that out, and like you're probably in the realm of like a 25 to 30 cent win. So it's still good. It's like a 2.5, 3-to-1 style trade. But that's how you have to think about it. The entire execution of the trade is how it works out and what defines holding to you ultimately. And when you look at it, and you go back, you should be able to say, okay, relative to what I was risking, I traded open door to the south side here. It was a 7 break. If I'm risking to about 5 or 6, I'm not covering until we get the first 1-to-1. A little bit more out as it tries to bounce off that 90 area. But when it breaks down and establishes trend, now I would say this is a fail, because just like the same trade, as it starts to work, I want to make sure you still have some on board. But unlike the silver trade, by the way, I made a mistake here. As it starts to hold this trend line, I don't add to it, which is always a mistake, because before it's just a flat bottom break. When it's now holding the trend line, I got to be adding to this thing somewhere in here. Instead, when it makes this bounce off support, I'm getting out and not re-entering on the trend line. But the bigger, more important thing is holding is relative to what you were risking. If I was shorting 7, risking to VWAP, or 712 up here, like this morning high, then I shouldn't necessarily, I'm giving it a wider stop. I need to be holding everything until a first out in that range to make that make sense. And then make sure you're consistent with your strategy. If that's the way you trade that way all the time, because how you win is how you lose. And this is sort of the concept. If all of your biggest winners also resemble your biggest losers, you might have a problem. You should want your losers to look boring relative to your winners. Like, you should want it to say, okay, well, yeah, I got in here and then I have one entry, one exit, you know, and if you're adding to it, like, and then as an example, I'll go back to, like, again, a previous trade, because sometimes we don't get a chance to, oh no, I just closed it. All right, let me just go back here for a quick, open in new tab. I just accidentally shut this thing down. So what you want is, you want your losers to look, oh, we go long here, it starts to work, we buy in there, oh, and we're out. I'm not buying anymore, well, it's not working. You know, it looks kind of boring. It's like, okay, well, obviously, had I leveraged into this, it would have been a monster trade. But I'd rather just say I got out when the long wasn't looking any good. Like, there was your bit of an uptrend and consolidation. Once that's broken, I'm not doing anything. And I'm not doing anything until it re-engages. So like you said, like, you win the way that you lose. Now, if the way that you win is to be long into this, into the absolute low, for example, now it's not my style, but if going long into this low is part of your jam, well, you know what? You shouldn't be getting out into VWAP. You shouldn't be getting a lot out into there. You really got to hold, because you're trying to buy it. You want to be that buyer that buys at 56.5 to 56.8, holds it all the way to the low, risking maybe like a full percentage point. Well, then you need to have a boat on when it's breaking 57. Risk to reward. Like, you don't want to be scalping out for 25 or 30 cents if you're holding it 50 to 60 against you, right? Like, that's the concept. So it's all relative. If you're talking about holding a trade, relative to what? Relative to your stop. What are you risking on the trade? That should determine what you should be trying to get out of it in terms of developing a trading strategy. And not everyone is going to be the same, because to one person, a scalp trade could be holding it longer. I know Luis trades a lot of small caps. We have him on every other Thursday. Like, for him, holding a trade would be a lot of people's scalp sometimes. And that's just fine, because as long as you're consistently profitable, that's what matters. So understand that risk to reward for you will not be risk to reward to someone else. Risk to reward for Sean won't be the same for me, or for Joe, or for Sharif, or for anybody out there. So be open to listening to other ideas and sort of feeding off of others, but understand that your trade is your trade. Your risk is your risk. Your notion of what you are risking on your trade to, and you better have some idea of where you're getting out, that is how you should be grading your winners or your losers. And if you do that properly, then you can be a consistently profitable trader. If you don't do that properly, then you might end up a trader that will lose big, or because your loss is your loss, but then won't win big enough to cover it. And that's where the real problem lies. It's not, just to give you an example, when the stat gets thrown out of like 90% of traders lose, or 95% of traders lose, whatever the percentage is that you're working off of, what I have found almost universally, and this will be like the percent that lose, over 90% of the percent that don't make it have that simple problem when I'm looking at settlements, when I'm looking at trading floor risk, which I did for many, many years. It's all the same thing. 20 trading days in a month, if I take their 5 best trading days and their 5 worst trading days and look at the mean of those 5 winning trading days and the mean of those 5 losing trading days, and guess what? The 90% of traders that fail, the mean on their losers of the top 5 days and the bottom 5 days and their top 5 days, it's simply higher than the winners. And the few percentage of traders that make it or consistently profit, the opposite is true. Now, that's an easy thing to say because it's objectively true and it's common sense, but it's something a lot of traders really ignore, because it's so easy to be like, oh, but you know what? I'm winning 50 to 60% of the time, and that's nice. Of my trainee group, there was about 20, I think it was 21 or 22 people. There were 4 or 5 graduates. I think it was 5 graduates and 3 or 4 that ended up trading for 5 years or more. 3 of us lasted forever, essentially. Of the traders that failed, half of the traders that failed in that group had no trouble being net profitable 50% of their days. Think about that for a second. More than half of the failing traders in my trainee group had no trouble being profitable more than half the time. So why didn't they make money? because they lost more on the days they were down than what they made on the days they were up. So for your strategy, holding just has to mean relative to your risk. I know I always sound like I'm being preachy, and I get it. Some people don't like being preached at, which is absolutely fine. But the truth of it is I genuinely do not want to see people lose money in a general sense. Like like trading has been good to me in my life, and I feel I'm fortunate for that. I got to trade other people's money on a prop floor to start out with. I never had to trade my own money to earn a living. I always got to be leveraged by someone else, and right at the time when it was easier to do that. And there were more places that you could do that easily. So I was pretty fortunate in that regard. And then I was like really cheap and saved money and all that stuff. So things worked out really well for me. And I remember the people on the way while I was doing that were willing to give me that kind of solid advice and not give me the rosy, oh, look at all the big wins and all the celebratory, like they sat down and said, this is what it's really about. And so I try to make sure that I tell you guys that, because it's not easy. It does require discipline. It does require hard work. It does require sometimes getting top and bottom wick and being frustrated by it because you listen to your rules. But on the other end, when you do have a winner on, you have to make sure that that winner is going to be held or work relative to how much you risked. If you're risking 10 pennies on a trade, then you can't be out in the first 5 cents and make it work. If you're risking $1 on the trade, then you got to make sure you're holding that relatively as well. So again, make sure everything is, I like to say, in the pocket, right? Like compare apples to apples. Do you be open to new ideas, but formulate your own risk plan that fits your strategy. That's been long-winded. Now I'm going to go eat my, it's like a, well, it's that paella, right? Can anyone see that? And there's a Caesar salad. I'm not a fan of Caesar salad, so that's going to be a problem. But anyways, enjoy your lunch if you're doing that, but enjoy the rest of the day. I know I just got a little bit long-winded, but we had no Adara today. And it's a subject that, for risk management, like, this is a conversation that when I was the floor manager, when we had a trading floor here, anytime a trader wanted to sit down and talk risk management, I said, as long as you want. I would sit down and we'd sit there and for multiple traders, and I'd sit there, we'd talk for an hour, and you can tell me all about your strategy, because ultimately it's the most important thing for a trader. And if you can conquer that, then you can have some success in this game. Good luck, everybody, in trading. There's your lesson of the day. Sorry for being so long.
By all means, man. Yeah, that's all you can really do. In all honesty, there's some individuals, when they start speaking, you just shut up and listen.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the case.
You just feel the wisdom.
Yeah,
oozing.
You just shut up and listen, and you just nod your head. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody had those. And you just listen to what Neil had to say. So yeah, I'm glad that he had that fantastic lesson of the day. It's phenomenal stuff. I just wanted to say thank you for that. He brought up an SLV example, which is absolutely phenomenal. But let's get into a couple things. Drop system, I didn't forget about you. We're going to talk a little bit about that here. But Mr. Westermeyer, we're going to pull up the options chain right now and see what kind of conundrum you got yourself into here with the Dow Jones put. I mean, it's really tough because you have to take into consideration, and I'm talking from experience as well too, when the technicals tell you to get out, get out. And it may not be that simplistic. Obviously, you have attachment to your positions, but trust me, and you've probably been doing this a little bit longer than I have, but I've learned a massive lesson, especially in Bitcoin and going heavy on contracts as well too. When the technicals tell you to get out, listen to them, regardless of what happens after that. So you say, okay, Sharif, Joseph, help, I have 450 out the money puts. You didn't give us a strike. Oh, yeah, $450 maybe out the money puts. So you bought those it's either you have 450 puts, which is a substantial amount, or you're actually selling these or buying these.
He said right here, Joe, 435 put, 435. So like 0.07% contract right now. That's word for word what he said.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's a little bit tough, man. All I can really suggest to you now is when you're in that, it expires next Friday. So what you want to do here, we're just going to try to mitigate our losses a little bit. What you want to do is essentially just start selling some puts, because you're at the point where you only have a week left on those contracts. So I think by next Friday, I think 480 would be relatively safe. You'll be collecting $2.04 if you sell those. I don't know how many contracts you have, but that's just going to mitigate your loss. You have these you said 430, right? $430 puts that he has?
I think, did I send it to you there, Joey?
No, you sent me, it says I have
one?
450 out the money. I don't know
what
if
he
his
just said,
quantity
right.
is 450, which is a substantial amount, or the strike price is 450. Regardless, what we got to do here is now you got to construct yourself a spread. And that spread is just going to help you mitigate that loss a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't have enough time in order for that to fully recover, right? So that's, I think, the game plan for you to do right now is just keep that loss as small as you can. 480, I think that'll be somewhat of a safe play. If you want to be a little bit more safe, and make sure you lock that in, 475, X amount of contracts times by 132 bucks. By next Friday, if that expires worthless, you'll at least take that off of your position. That's the best advice I can personally give you. Why? Because I've been through that scenario on multiple occasions, and I'm currently sitting in it right now. So just sell, 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 sell until the underlying start to turn around. Now, Fluffy Hippo, recommendations on books for options. Yeah, start with the wonderful textbooks, Options for Dummies. I read the Financial Markets for Dummies, Stock Market, Investing for Dummies. That series is absolutely phenomenal. Once you've gone through that, read something else, and that I'm going to lead you towards beginner trade. I forget the title of it. It's by, I can't remember the publication, but it is Options Trading for Beginners. It's going to give you a 3-in-1 setup. It's going to teach you how to construct credit spreads. It's going to teach you about iron condors, and it's going to teach you about the options wheel and covered calls. That's going to tell you a lot about the game, and that's where I started. And there's one thing, and I was thinking about this the other day, and it's funny when I was when I was earlier in my obviously trading journey and everything. It doesn't matter. Reading is extremely important, but there's nothing as valuable as experience. It's a great starting point, but once you have that background of knowledge, you're gonna be able to implement that, and once you go through multiple scenarios, then it's gonna help you even more, and I think that's what trading is, and that's why the learning curve is so long, is because you haven't been through enough scenarios to understand what's actually going on, and there's so many that happen into the overall market, but that's where you start, Options Trading for Dummies, and then I'll find it momentarily, guys. I still have all the books at home, and I'll give you guys some suggestions on
I love that. And I love how you just said that last part there.
Yeah.
When you've seen so many scenarios,
yeah.
It really helps, not just in identifying them, but I feel like it helps with your confidence and your conviction as well.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
I've seen this story before. It's nothing new. If A, then B, kind of like that.
Exactly. If and then situations, and pretty much, Sharif. Yeah, I agree 110% with you, brother.
And I really do feel that that's helped with the small cap. I mean, in every sort of trading, I think that's going to help. It's not going to just be for small caps.
It's just going through the fire. Like, that's what trading is. You have to walk through that smoke in order to understand truly what's going on. And there's a lot. But there is, man. Yeah, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
All right, guys, YCBD. This is on the Amex network, and if you watched the show before, you know I suspect this network constantly, as many of the bamboozlers have been on this, have been Amex stock, so that's just the way it is. We're long, 131. I initially got in at 35. I DCA'd into the 10 EMA on the 5 into 28, so it gives me 31. I just wet the beak there into 39. It's a 43 high of day. We're still lower high, so my move is here. I hold this unless it loses the 10 EMA. It got back above the 10 EMA, and since it got back above it, it stayed above it. It loses me as a long trader. So we're keeping an eye on this one. The 10 EMA, I should probably mention where it is. It's showing me 27s or so. This is not a good looking candle that's forming right now. Topping tailish, rejecting off 140. I'll submit to you guys that 140 is the real resistance level on the day. And that was the case from 8:15 until the breakdown at around 9:10. And it's continuing to be the case right now, despite the fact that it's a 143 high a day. It doesn't really matter. The closing prints have all been south of 1. Go ahead.
Oh, look at silver go. I own silver.
So excited. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy, man. Sorry to interrupt you, but there it goes on silver. There it goes on silver. What a rebound, man. Yeah, that was a big time
storm of prints there.
That was a big time comeback. I did take the bulk of this off right here, and I was left with 20% for this little bit of a run right there. So yeah, shout out to everyone. Best simulator for options people are talking about, Sharif, I suggested what we personally use there. TWS is definitely one of the ways that you can go for sure.
Well, absolutely. Too bad they don't sponsor us, but they should be, really. And if I'd be telling them, if you guys know anybody there, you should be telling them.
Call them up.
All right, so we're in YCBD, right back into 40 it goes. It was just at 40, it's 39 now, but I was watching the price action form at that 40 penny area, and there is a very, very large seller into 40 pennies. So let's see if we can get above it. I've only got one profit taker north of 40. I should probably put more because, you know, if it's a very, very staunchy resistance level, it has a tendency sometimes to really blow through a lot of levels above that 140. That's all predicated, of course, upon it clearing 140. Now, the other trade that I've got on CLYM, I got the beak wet there at 20s. I got back into this one, even though I did stop out, not even break even, above break even on the last little amount. It's still holding trend. It's just a clunky trade, man. You know, sometimes it'll breach an area low, sometimes it won't. So I don't know how to feel about this one. Just before we go to the ad, Assassino, I want to let them know that I'm looking also at PL, not the Premier League. PL, where is this trade at? New York. PL, high a day, 1869. We're going to talk about that one momentarily after Joey's done.
All right, guys. For too long, trading meant risking your own money or never having enough to start. The fear of losing, that's what kept so many traders on the sidelines. But that's changing. Trade the Pool is transforming how traders access the markets. With its limited risk trading model, traders use funded capital while Trade the Pool absorbs the downside. This allows traders to focus on what truly matters: discipline, consistency, and growth. When you hit the profit target, you keep 70% of the profits. No fears, no barriers, just real opportunity. This is Trade the Pool's revolution of limited risk trading, trading powered by Trade the Pool. Visit tradethepool.com or scan the QR code now to get 10% off your first evaluation.
So YCBD just breached 40. And then it dropped again. And so the shorts really are looking at this 40 penny level, and they're quite convicted. So let's be careful with this one. It did pop up. I want to say it popped up into 41. So technically did breach 40, but right down below 40 we go again. So let's see if we can get above it now. Their sellers are posting at 39. There's large size coming in at 39. Let's see if we can outdo them and take out some levels. I'm going to continue to have the same plan on this one. It's a 10 EMA hold or die, right? Back into 39. Look at that size now coming in at 39. As we get into the level, we'll be able to see a little bit more EXP and EdgeX. Huge size posted there, but it's typically with these ones that we can't see that gets us in trouble. But the Premier League, PL, where's that one at, Joey? There it is, PL. Thank you for Outlawed Trader. I love the name, mentioning PL for me over here. Look, PL, come back down into 850. It's on its way. Why am I looking at that 850? Because that is what I perceive to be the breakout area, okay? I see a bunch of double tops, 925 rejection, 10 o'clock rejection. Let's give this one a try, man. Let's give PL here a try. We're gonna get in some shareage. The 10 EMA on the 5 on PL is into 42. So we're gonna get some here. And then we're gonna add into 42, but if it stops out below the 10 EMA, that ends the trade for me. It is really that straightforward. So we're in at 54. We're gonna go ahead and wait in the mid 40s as well. Loses that 40 area, again, loses me as a trader. So we're gonna go like that. We'll give it to there, and then we'll do just like that. So we put in the stop. We got 54s on. Let's see if we can get some profit takers into the high 50s, and we'll also post some low 60s. So we'll see what that one does. Coming back now. Oh no, CLYM. Jeez, man. I'm gonna give this one a bit more room here on CLYM because I've been bamboozled with this one before. So CLYM area low, 1155, 306. 305 ends the trade, okay, on that one. So we've put in the stop there. How's YCBD doing? Back into 41. Look at the size here at 40 and 41. It's a thick trade over here, bro. I know Joey doesn't like when I use thick a lot, but this is into 42, Joey. There's the print. Now we just got into the high of the day. That is $1.43. The shorts, now they're going to be against the ropes now. So it's going to be a major tug of war between longs and shorts at this level, as this is kind of, yeah, it's the high of the day, and so a lot of people will be looking at this. Back into 42 we go. Let's see if we can get continuation. I've got some prints there at I've got some resting profit takers to wet my beak into 48. So let's see if we can get above 42. Joe, they're posted up at every penny. What the hell's going on? 40, 41, 42, 43. Where are the shorts? I mean, pick a level and stay at that level. But yeah, let's see what this one can do. I feel like this one is setting up for a possible flat top break. We've rejected this 40 penny level so many times. It feels like it might be a matter of time, but who really knows? I got stopped out of CLYM as that one did lose the bid. How we doing on the other trade though? With PL. So we haven't taken any prints, but we're not out of the money. Is this a widespread? No, it's not a widespread. There goes YCB frickin' D. We just made a new high a day into 49. We've got 30s on now. Let's pulse 55s. Big breakout. It felt like a matter of time because it was a matter of time. The shorts are running scared now. Let's watch out though. That 150. Money, what's going on over there?
No, I hit that for you.
Oh, I appreciate you. 150 though. So how many resistance levels do we have to deal with here? Because now we've got this psychological resistance at $1.50, Joey. So this might be some more trouble. Let's continue to watch the price action. Happy now that it's away from my entry so that I can rest a little bit easier here. YCBD on the Amex exchange, guys. You want to guess how many shares this one's traded on the day? Don't look. It's not huge. Just guess.
150 million.
222 million shares. So we got a lot of liquidity on this one. Right, so we're gonna keep an eye. Guy, bro.
All right, man. So a nice look here on SLV. Shout out to Neil for bringing that one out. Thank you guys for talking about it. Now, okay, Fluffy Hippo. Don't be scared. We're going to get that in momentarily. I want to take care of drop system momentarily because you asked me a very valid question. You said, Joe, do I like Tesla? And I said, no, not right here. And why? Because it's really important. It's going to lead back towards Neil's lesson of the day. I had to risk too much. When Dropped brought it to me, we were around 443 or something roughly, and I would have had to give it past that. So that's $2 worth of risk. Now, I like the trade if you have the ability to get as closer to the lower end of this consolidation, right? We're gonna go through a couple of my names and we're gonna see that we're just trying to get in at the lower ends of the consolidation, whether it works or not. Why? Because it drastically increases our risk to reward ratio, okay? So that's why. It's not that I didn't like the trade, I didn't like where I had to get in at. And I'm really, really focusing on this. I was telling Gorev, I really wanna hone in on it because what Neil said yesterday, he was risking 10 cents on SLV. I was doing the exact same thing. So that really hit home when he mentioned that. 55.30, I was out at 55.20. That was it. And then now we were fortunate enough to get a move up into 56s. Now let's go over a couple of my other entries, right? Fluffy Hippo, I haven't forgot about you. This one I was willing to risk 20 cents, but I want to focus on where the entry is, right? You have this consolidation zone. I'm in at the lower end of the consolidation. Why? Because it drastically increases my risk to reward ratio. Same thing, it phases you out right here. I'm like, all right, let's get in at 1880s. Why? Because that low has been established right at 70s, and I'm fortunate enough, if it cracks that, then I just know I'm wrong altogether. So risk to reward is extremely important, especially when you go with R multiples, okay? So there it is, we get a little bit of a move, and we, Joey paper hands that one. Devin Haney, full disclosure, I Devin Haney'd that because I was like silver, 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 IO silver away. Now we're gonna touch on a couple more names here. Fluffy Hippo, I haven't forgot about you, don't worry about it. People don't forget, especially when you have very valid questions. Now let's head over to IBIT. Oh, I should have went to my other one first, actually. Oh my God, I love how it does that tree.
What happened?
Oh yeah.
Those are good times.
Yeah, it's great times. Anyways, this weekend we're just relaxing. Exact same thing here, right? So we have an indecision print on the 1 minute on IBIT. I'm wrong at the break of the lows. Okay, boom, we get a nice little move. I got a little move higher, but it came back against me out immediately after, okay? 10, 20 cents worth of risk, the exact same thing. We now have a new low being established. I want to take that long, cracks the low, hasta la vista, baby. We're out of that trade, and it's the exact same thing. I was going to say, what did Sylvester Stallone used to say?
What did he say?
I was asking you a genuine question.
In which movie, Joey?
I don't know, his most iconic one where he...
Rockies?
No, not Rockies.
Rambo?
Rambo, yeah.
I'm not a big Rambo guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I just remember the villain, Murdoch.
The Murdoch? Oh.
Was his name Murdoch? The guy that kept.
Yeah, I was never a big one there.
Hey yo, Adrian.
Hey yo, Adrian.
That's the one I know. Hey yo, Adrian.
He's obviously from New York, I'm assuming, right, with that accent?
He's Philly.
Is he Philly? All right, same thing, man. All right. There it goes on IBIT. Same thing going on there, guys. What was the other name that I traded? Yes, MSOS. MSOS. Just again, we're just going through examples of keeping those risk to reward really tight and getting at the lower end of the range. So we have a range right here. We get that tick right there at 40.90. So that's what we're looking for, and we're continuing to climb. Now, Fluffy Hippo. I didn't forget, we're going to head over to what you think. All right? So you say, yeah, I'm really scared of, again, like, hey, options frighten me. Totally fine. If something's new, I understand that. But you have to understand, at times they can be relatively safer than actually trading stock in itself. Why? Because if you were just buying options, whether it be a put or a call, you have a max loss, and that's all you can lose, okay? So it's like, hey, today I decide that I want to buy this $175 call that expires today on NVDA. I can't lose more than $190, right? Opposed to if I were to buy 100 shares at 175, I have a potential to go to zero. Now, I'm not saying that NVDA is going to go to zero because the likelihood of that is very, very low. I would say it's not going to happen. The sky would be falling at that point. It would be detrimental to the market. All right? So 175, you pay 190 bucks, that's all you lose. Okay? And if you're bearish on the stock as well too, I want to buy the 170 put instead, well, you're paying $30 for that. Now, this is where people get caught in the attractiveness of options. 30 bucks for that? Oh, cool. I'll do that all day. But at the end of the day, you will lose all of that money, okay? So just keep in mind, when you are buying options, what you pay is the max that you can lose, and it's that simple. That's not necessarily the case when you're shorting shares or when you're just buying shares flat out. And that's all I have to say.
That is cool, man. Ooh. No way. Look at this. Look what Fabian just sent me. That's Blanca. That's new there.
That's your guy, right?
I dressed up as Blanca, man. Yeah, this is amazing over here. Flick of the wrist. Hold on. I will. Reddit. Can I show it? Is it safe? Yeah. Look at Ryu. Oh, wow. This is great. There's Ken. Yeah, let me click it and I can full screen. Excellent. I love this. There's Ken. Oh, Chun-Li. This is amazing. Oh, M. Bison. There's Guile. Sonic Boom. Who's this guy? Roman Reigns. No. There's Blanca. I love the Cammy. Cammy, one of my favorites. She has the best background music in Street Fighter 2 Turbo or the challenges. Look at this, dude. Oh my goodness. Why does it look like 50 Cent, man?
It does look like 50 Cent.
It looks like 50. There's Dalsum. This is really good. Vega. Oh, Zangief. There's E Honda. Who's this guy again? Andrew Schultz.
Bro, that looks like Andrew Schultz.
It is Andrew Schultz. Why is Andrew Schultz featuring here? There's Eric Andre. I love it. This is really good, Fabian, man.
Oh.
I like it. Is this an actual game coming? It's the movie. So they're remaking the movie because they'd made one, I guess. Remember? Yeah, man, it was Jean-Claude Van Damme. He was Guile, man. And it made no sense because he has a French accent and Guile is American. But yeah, you gotta just use your imagination, I guess, right? So no, I'm pumped for this. I love Street Fighter. Man, back in the day, there was etiquette. There was a certain etiquette when you were playing Street Fighter at the convenience store. You come in, you put the quarter down, and you put the quarter down, and there's quarters in order. Oh. And the order of the quarters dictates who's next up in line. Right, and if you broke that code, you got clipped, right? So, yeah, it was a very, very strict code.
It's no longer a Street Fighter game. It's inside the convenience
But it's literally a Street Fight game. Yeah, you know what I mean? No, those were good times, man. We're exaggerating, of course, for effect. Guys, I see NCPL coming back up, apparently, is according to Bovin. Let's see what this one's doing, NCPL. Do you remember the Mortal Kombat arcade? Of course, man. You can crash it. Yes, everyone used to do that. Those were good times. Shout out to Ichiro, man, to make me remember the good times. You bet. It's probably because the Mortal Kombat movie's coming out too. That makes sense. To New York Sense, you better put your quarter down. If you touch my quarter, it's going down. Yes, my guy. Now. Tweet New York knows exactly what's going on, man. All right, we've got a couple of good trades going on right now. Here comes Premier League, PL. There we go. Finally, Premier League. Taking out some orders that I had. What do we got on? We got 51s. We just took out 56s. 57s now showing up. Watch out for a price spike here. 59er. Do we have some shares here on Prem? Yeah, we'll take a couple of more out. 60 now on the Prem. High a day, 72. Let's look for continuation here on PL. Up 6%. It's not a rocket, but it's holding technical levels, which I like. We've also got another trade going on. We've been holding YCBD for a while. What do I got on this one? I got 29 3/4. It's showing me 43s. High of the day is 49. So we're still unable to break that 50 penny area, but the good news for everybody is I'm seeing very, very good respect for the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart, in addition to most of these candles putting in higher lows. So we know the buyers are picking it up at higher and higher levels on every successive downturn. Shout out to Gorev. No Premier League for me this season. Gorev, brother, I want you to give me your take on what is happening right now with Mo Salah. Likely, people are saying he will not be there for the Brighton match, or he won't play. I know you know already he's told his parents to come in because that could be his last game with the club. And, you know, I really hate to see the relationship between the club and the player end in this way. You knew that it was going to have to come to an end sometime. He wasn't going to be on top of his game forever. They were going to have to move him, especially with his contract. But do you think they sell him in January to get something for him? Otherwise, I think he walks away free, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, Gorev, because I know you are an avid Liverpool fan. I want to hear it from a fan, because I'm a fan of Mo Salah. I couldn't care less about the club, right? I'm an Arsenal guy. I'm clicking Street Fighter, by the way. Poll up now. Who else we got over here? Gorev says, I think Salah is right to feel how he feels, but going public about it was not the right move. 100% agree with you, especially not saying the club threw him under the bus. The club gave him a mega contract. You want to know what my suspicion is? And it's entirely just based on suspicion. I think he got wind, either from his sources or his manager or his agent got wind that they were going to move him, that they were shopping him around. And once he found out that they were looking to transfer him in January, he kind of wanted to get ahead of the whole thing so he can control the narrative. I think he botched it because I think he sounded a little entitled and a little like aggrieved. And I don't think people really want to feel bad or will feel bad for a person making millions and millions of dollars per year. They're not going to feel bad for you. But I do think that there was something that he found out and that resulted in him kind of acting in this way. I don't think he acted in that way because he got benched a couple of games. That's atypical for him. I don't know. That's just kind of what I think there. Someone tagged me for a ticker there, but I'm missing it. KOS, there it is. KOS, Jameson says. Let me have a look at that one. I don't know, brother. Not really for me. It's up 4.5%, but it looks more like a buyout. KOS is what Jameson was talking about there. Let's take a quick look here. Finally, PL taking out 60. Now I'm waiting here on the Premier League at 63. Let's see if it's showing me 62. We're about to get into 63. Selling coming in, though, at that level. So I'm packing the patience. There's 63, but it's got to cross for me to get the print. Let's see if the price spike up can come in. Not yet. So we'll have to pack the patience. Keeping an eye as well, of course, on YCBD as this one works again into 49s. We've got a good price on this one, but I don't mind getting some more in, but it's got to be at the right price. OCG as well is making a move. It's still putting in lower highs on OCG, like for example, it's a 218 high a day, and then this area crest over here is a high of 198, and now we're showing 191. So we got to get above $2 on OCG to break that trend of the lower high, lower high, lower high. I'm not going to try to play this as a range. I want to take out that $2, and then maybe we can look to that 218 high a day for a nice touch there. YCBD coming in. Oh boy, here we go. It's dropping a little bit. I said I wanted to get a little bit more, so maybe this is the right area. I'm going to do just that. We're going to pick up some more here for a possible accumulation through that 149. We're still holding above the 10 EMA, which takes us all the way down to 135. So long as we hold that, I'm going to be holding this one. Ozan, you never check my tickers. Ozan, you don't trade anything I trade, bro. You're a large cap guy. What do you want me? I haven't traded a large cap on the show in a year and a half, right? Like, and I just won't.
Ozan is awfully needy sometimes.
I like Ozan.
I love Ozan. Hey, don't get it twisted. I love Ozan, but he's my friend, and I'll tell my friend.
You have a point, yeah. Brother. We don't trade at all. That you're more like Joey. You're more like Sean. And a little bit like Neil as well. I know Neil likes to look at less known names, more like myself. But, you know, it's just, I don't have a feel for him. And I haven't traded him over a year and a half. So what can I tell you? I'll just steer you the wrong way, brother.
Denial is a thing.
All right, Joey, what do you got?
Yeah, we just chilling over here, man. Thanks to Gaurav, man. What a fantastic call out from my boy there. Yeah, I mean, Gaurav just taking things to a next level from when I first started out. I was like, hey, man, this is the style, and he's adopted it like pretty like amazingly, Sharif, in my opinion. So yeah, fantastic stuff to him. I haven't seen Los Pollos is on vacation. So yeah, good stuff. All right, but we do have a super chat that we missed, Sharif. All right, bang, 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 bang. Paula Malone. Hey guys from South Carolina, USA. Is it Paula? You always ask us to blow you kisses. Is that the same one? Is a 1-for-40 reversal split terrible? NVDA is doing this on Monday. I own 190 shares at 48 cents. Could anything good come from this? Just asking. New trading, blow kisses for. Oh yeah, it is you. Well, Merry Christmas and everything along those lines. All right, but what happened?
That was great, bro. I've never been wished happy holidays in that way. Merry Christmas and everything along those lines. Like, that was great, bro. That's fantastic. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you know
I love it. And everything along those lines, guys. Joey, it's fantastic. I love it. It's like, yo, bro, just get the holidays away from me, all right? Happy holidays.
We'll figure it out later, and then we'll just get right back into the trade, obviously. All right, guys. I don't know if this is answered. Historically, I heard Neil and them talking about this for quite some time. Reverse freeze results in the stock falling longer term to all the best of my knowledge and experience, most, not all of the time. Well, I'm going to speak for that for myself. I sat through a reverse split. One morning I wake up, I thought I hit the jackpot once again on my ATB shares. Turns out to be the case. I'm like, yeah, we're back to where we started. No, that wasn't the case. I went through a couple of reverse splits, and it did not work. So yeah, just speaking from what Neil has to say, I second that. It's typically not a good thing. So I don't know how you feel about that, Shree.
Sorry, what was the question?
Of the reverse splits.
Yeah, I'm in one on Polestar now. And Polestar is going to the crapper. We all know where PSNY is going. Look, it was a lottery ticket that I had. It was a $1 name. I picked it up at 87 pennies. Now it's like $14. I don't know what kind of cockamamie operation they're running over there at PSNY, but they can't get their ducks in a row, and it's displeasing me greatly. But hey, it's a lottery ticket. I'm holding it to zero. All right? So I'm hoping maybe somebody buys this piece of crap or they take it private and just get me out. Maybe I could make a couple of bucks. But that's the situation I find myself in right now. Guys, I just took another beak wetter there on Premier League. PL. Stop, Premier League. Stop saying that, Share. All right, so we're posting up at 69 now. Now we're going to post up at 74s. Looking for continuation here on PL as this one moves into that 172. So 172 has been, I want to say the 160 area has been a local area of resistance, but it's been above it. It's above it right now, but not above it in a very decisive way. So we've added a couple of times here into PL. There's 63 again. It's going to have to price spike up for me to take another beak wetter. But I'm also in YCBD, and I added into the dip into 39. I took out a couple of beak wetters there into the high 40s, but I'm looking for continuation here on YCBD. And even though this is putting in higher lows and it's holding the 10 EMA, it's just got so much selling in the high 40s. I don't know how I feel about this one, man. I don't know how I feel about this one. I'm going to stick to my plan. If it holds the 10, I'm going to hold on to it. And now that the 10 has moved up, I can actually stop break even, which is exactly what I'm going to do there. So we're going to throw that in there. 1 second, Assassino. We're just throwing in the stops. We're going to take a quick look at PL. And PL, yeah, did price spike up a little bit, but not good enough. Guys, we do have a fantastic interview for you guys. And we're going to send it up to Brendo at the big desk.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks so much. We are excited once again to have Chief Medical Officer Dr. James Kelly from Orogenics with us back on the show, talking about a very important subject. Once again, Dr. Kelly, great to have you as always. For anyone who's hearing this maybe for the first time, we're talking about TBI or concussions. 69 million cases globally on an annual basis, still nothing from the FDA as far as approved treatments for this. Maybe start things off here this afternoon, just talking a little bit about this rest and hope approach and why that's failing and not necessarily working out for people.
Yeah, so hi, great to be back. So the issue there is we haven't really gotten to a treatment. As a neurologist, I've been waiting for this my whole career. to have something that actually could reduce the symptoms and the ultimate effects of concussion, which is a brain injury itself. And so right now what we do is wait for things to get better if they do, but that's no guarantee. Even from a single concussion, some people can have lingering effects for many months and years. And so we're hopeful that this intervention will actually help reduce the symptoms and the burden of problems worldwide just from concussions that happen, and we have no treatment now.
And let's talk about this from a market standpoint, projected to be upwards of $9 billion potentially as far as the available market here. As far as Oragenics is concerned and the potential of this treatment, let's break down exactly what it is to start off with and how you feel that's going to fit into and address that $9 billion potential market.
Yep. So this is actually a nasal preparation of a novel neurosteroid that is a powder preparation that is puffed, if you will, up into the nasal passages and then goes directly to the brain in very small doses. You don't need pills, you don't need an intravenous or other injection in higher doses. It's a very small dose of what then will be a treatment of the inflammation and the intracellular, the neuronal injury mechanism that actually starts a cascade of problems we want to interrupt with this particular medication approach. So it has an opportunity to treat all of those things in a single dose format shortly after a concussion occurs. Nothing like that is available right now.
The biggest potential market that we're talking about here is obviously going to be military use. We're obviously talking about athletes, things along those lines. Currently a phase 2A trial underway in Australia. Give us an update on that.
So the 2A trial is about to kick off with the first dose we are thinking will be occurring in the next several weeks. And so the orchestration around civilian emergency departments is where this is actually initiated. And so we have downloaded and accepted existing metrics that are for concussion outcome. We haven't created our own, so to speak. These are accepted by the FDA and other federal organizations, and we will be tracking outcomes of individuals who have the dose of medication against those who don't, and looking at a very detailed assessment of those individuals to determine, first of all, can this be done in an emergency setting? That's the first question. Is there a true opportunity in the short span of time, like there would be for a stroke? When the FDA approved in 1996 stroke treatments, there hadn't been anything for that either. And so there had to be a very rigorous approach, which we are following, in order to start the trials in emergency departments and then hopefully have a broader impact beyond that in military and sports settings and such, as you mentioned.
And this is all in preparation to, or in hopes of, eventually getting to a US-based trial. Am I correct?
That's correct. And now the FDA approves these early stage trials in places like Australia where we're working. Then you bring it back to the United States where the bulk of it has to be done stateside. And so that's the next step for us, which we will be initiating steps for toward the end of 2026 in order to then kick that off within the next year and a half or so.
So data potentially, you're saying, from the Australia trial somewhere towards the end of next year?
Correct. That's exactly right. We'll have the data analysis roughly a year from now.
Fantastic. Dr. James Kelly is Chief Medical Officer at Oragenics. It's a very, very important subject and a very, very, it's one of those things that has affected, or everyone knows someone who is affected by it currently. So we wish you all the best and continued success with these trials and the ongoing research. And please come back and update us again in the future.
Thank you, Brendan. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. You
too.
Fantastic interview. Great information there, as this is one of the most it's one of the most pressing issues, and I think it's one of the ones that's really developing our knowledge about the effects of concussions. And Joey, we all played sports as a kid, and we really don't know exactly what kind of issues we had. So it's really nice to see.
Long term.
Long term. You played soccer, I played football, and obviously those are.
Well, football, hockey. You mean?
You played football.
Yeah, football and hockey.
You played both?
In high school?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I didn't even know you played football. What?
I told, dude.
Oh, sorry. Well, you know, a little too much weekend fun there, Joey. My bad.
No, we were talking about this before. I played high school football.
I didn't know that. I completely forgot, bro. What position did you play?
Junior years, I was middle linebacker, and then I moved.
Oh yeah, that I knew. I remember that.
Free safety in grade 11.
You were free safety, eh?
Yeah,
Likewise,
yeah,
man. Did you guys play both ways? Did you have to play both ways?
I never played both ways.
We had to.
No, I didn't. So
we had to go both ways at the time.
No,
Joey.
in all
Not that
reality,
way either. Don't think about it like that.
I figured.
Right?
That's why I didn't want to go there. Let's go as high as Broadway. No, but what I wanted to get to, guys, as someone who has suffered, you guys know, even here on air, with post-concussion syndrome, I was going through a lot with that stuff. Protect your brain at all costs. Sometimes you don't have the ability to do so, but if you can, make sure you wear your helmet regardless of what it is. I know when you're skateboarding, I know when you're snowboarding, you think it looks cool, but I want you guys to watch a documentary called The Crash Reel and see how cool not wearing, even though the individual was wearing a helmet, wearing a helmet is so important because you only get one of these noggins, and once you get a TBI, your life is changed forever. Traumatic brain injury and concussions, post-concussion syndrome is such a horrible thing to have. It literally degrades your day-to-day life. I was experiencing that here on the show. I was going to sleep with a headache and waking up with a headache that was borderline unbearable. And I'll tell you, I told you guys what happened to me. I was taking Rogaine for my hair, and I'm at the gym working out, and I was moving too heavy. And anyways, I get lightheaded. I tried to leave, not a good idea, and I smoke my head against the wall. And next thing I know, I wake up on the floor, and that one incident caused me over a year worth of pain.
My goodness.
Yeah, man.
I'm really sorry to hear it. Yeah, but you're a lot better now, so.
Yeah. But the initial thing was bad, but the post-concussion syndrome was worse than the actual head injury. Dude, for a month straight, I was going to sleep. I was waking up with a headache every day. It was borderline unbearable, dude. It sucked. Sucked a lot.
This is a okay. So I hate to switch up emotions that quickly, but OCG is halted to the upside.
Yeah, let's go bang. That's what we want to see, baby. Let's go.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
I don't have a TBI, hypercube.
We go with.
It all makes sense now. This is Charlie Town.
Shut up. Here we go. OCG's halted, Joey. We added quite nicely into that $2 area. Was holding too, so we got actually a few adds there, and then the rocket ship, it rocketed, and now it's halted at 254. The tap is showing 272. So here we go. OCG was trading under 100% when we first weaseled into this at $1.40. It is now 178%, and given the tap, the theoretical auction price, this is ready to go. I see you, Fluffy. I know you're good at these small cap gappers. Good on you, man. So here we go. And shout out to Premier League. I love the Premier League, but I also like this one as well. PL. Into the high of the day, again we go. We make a new high day. It is $18.77. We're showing 75 right now. I've got 47s on. Let's see if we can get it into the next profit taker there, waiting at 82s. It is a small cap gapper world, Joey. We just living in it. And this one is on the way up back into 70-70. We go here on PL. Let's see if we can get into that 82. Still have several more outs on this one. Let's see if we can get into the 78. I'm not seeing any 78s, though, come in on the time and sales. Just showing up momentarily there. There we go. Now we popped into 78, several 78 prints coming in on the TOS. Let's keep an eye out on this one. Grunfeld saying ONDS. Let's take a quick look at ONS. Great call out there, brother. It's not a big mover on the day, but a hell of a retracement off 841 into the high of the day of 925. But I have to focus here on the Premier League, PL, as this one, a new high a day, 1880. I'm waiting at 82s. We can't shake the seller at 80s for now. Underline that. For now, PL could find its way into 20 today. Obviously we'll have to get to 19 first, but very strong, very directional. And what I like most about this is it took out the flat top at 1850. It was a rejection at 925 at 1850. It was a rejection at 10 o'clock at 1850. And here we are almost at 19. let's keep an eye out for this one. Still holding some from 47s. What's OCG up to? Okay, so let's get to this. It's showing a 2-0. Oh, here we go. The bamboozlement is on. This is trouble. For those holding, for those holding OCG, the tap is showing now 209, 210. We halted, guys, at 254. So this is not looking good right now, okay? US Stock Trader says OCG FV fair value gap starts at 288. Okay? Sounds good, brother. I do appreciate that information. I think you did tag me with that before, so I do appreciate you pointing that out. But there goes Premier League, filling me at 82. It is now an 1884 high a day. We're still holding on to a piece here on the Premier League. We're going to let this one run into 19. If it wants to get into 19, I'd like to wet the beak in the mid-90s. Let's see what this one has to offer. But going back now to OCG, the halt time, 12:55:13. What time is it right now? It is exactly 12:59. Okay, so we do have a minute and 10 seconds until this one opens up. Okay, 12:55. This one will open at 1 o'clock, 13 seconds. So let's see what this one does. Until that time, we're continuing to watch the Premier League here. PL, new high a day, 1885, continuing to run. Can we see sixes? I'm going to do my auctioneer, my best auctioneer voice now. Looking for 86s. We got 85s on. 85 keeps coming up. There's 86, Joey. 87 showing up now, not quite yet. The PL, this PL stock looking real good. It could go 10% quick as you like. Make sure to trade it carefully. Uh-oh.
No,
not
oh, okay, yeah, you can't do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
can't do that.
Joey.
What happened?
I'm just going to show you a chart, okay? I'm not going to put in the ticker. And I want you to tell me what you see here, Joey.
What does that say? 25.94?
25.54.
54. You got 50 cents. I got 50 cents.
Many men.
Oh, man.
Many, many, many men wish death upon American Eagle.
Oh.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, I do, man.
Oh, no, Joey.
What happened? Did it hit it?
Not yet.
Oh, man.
When it did this one, what'd I say to you? When that was the one. That was the one.
I knew I was in trouble,
This
my boy.
one is the one. You see it, Neil? Neil's in a trade, so we got to let him do his thing. But there it is, guys. AEO 25.54. Let's see if it can get up into 26. It just has to, there has to be one print on the time of sales. I have 26.
You better pray this hits $26. I'm
Joey, the thing is, though, I win either way. I win either way.
No,
yeah, I do.
You have no idea what I have in store, my friend, if this thing does
What is going to happen? What, you're going to take my profits away?
Nope.
There you go.
No, it's not even anything, man. It's the moral victory. I'm coming in with a crown, a cape, a staff, everything.
Oh, no.
I got T-shirts made for everybody.
T-shirts?
0-2
You spent all that money?
0-2 for Katina, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
hey, man.
crazy. This guy's spending. OCG's open and it's going buck wild, Joey. A new high day, 273. This one actually opened up much higher than the tap was showing. I think the opening print there was in the mid-40s or so, give or take. But this one is all gas, no brakes right now. So you need to be alive to the OCG trade. This one could see 3 very, very soon, as we've really squeezed out a lot of people. But as somebody was telling US Stock Trader, I think he was saying fair value gap is around 280 or so. So be on the lookout for resistance prior to 3. But there's another high day touch. It's 273 right now as we close in on 200%. It has been very, very good in the world of small cap gappers this week. Even though the Russ is taking it on the chin today, the Russ is down over 1%. But look, man, the other major averages are getting clipped as well. So that's fine. There's a new high day. 83 is now showing up. Could be momentarily until we see another one. 84s, 88s now, 89s. Oh. There we go on OCG. The breakout is out right now. Shout out to Bovin. He said it's 288. You're late, Bovin. It's already 89, my man. But there's the drop from 89 into 56s. That is the world of small cap gappers we all know and love. So keeping an eye on this one. It's 102, Joey.
Let's get right into it, man. Let's get the news, man. We had a good trading day, man. Yeah. We're not going to complain. Green
I'm going to send it to you for a bit. Just going to...
do your thing. Do your thing. Did you try the chicken out there?
Not even.
Oh.
We're going to give it a try right now.
Okay, give it a try. If you can bring me a piece. Yeah.
Yo, that fried chicken was oily as hell yesterday.
Bro, I told you.
I ate all of it, of course.
For people like you and myself, that's too much. That's too much oil.
That was a lot of oil, Joey. Yeah, time that you put that in the air fryer. Peace.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, let's go. Let's see what we got going on here today, guys. It's been a good one. All thanks to my boy Gorev at the end of the day. Oh, what did I just hit there? Oh, no. Oh, we haven't done that. I didn't mean to hit that. Let's get out of there, man. We'll hit this. We'll hit it a couple times there for everyone in Gorman in the chat as we rock and roll. Charlie Cass, what a dig, man. That was a cold dig, man. There's blows and then there's super low blows, so you got to watch out for those ones. But no, in all seriousness, guys, what a fantastic session. We're going to get into the news. There's obviously going to be a lot of fun subjects that we can touch on, considering we had some solid earnings reports yesterday. Forbes was like, yeah, 420 likes. Thanks for bringing that up, too. Let's pull that up. I hope everyone's having a good day. I mean, regardless of how it's going, I'm going to refresh this. If we can get those likes up, man, we don't ask for too much around these neck of the woods. Ooh, who's this? Oh, not that. Anyway, that was bad timing. Okay, anyways, let's skip that there. Yeah, so, I mean, there it is, guys. What do we got here? 432. Yeah, we got to get that up to at least 1,000 there. 1,000. This channel is hella slept on, says Wedrick. I appreciate you, man. Put in some emojis as well. How come I'm a moderator and these are all locked up for me? I can't even. I have to join to unlock these, man. That is crazy. What's up, Brendo? I hope everyone's having a fantastic one. I hope you guys are having a good day. It's Friday, man. There's a lot of snow up north, my buddies. Had a boatload of snow, so yeah, here not so much, but it's relatively cold. I told you guys the story. I went to go renew my bank card. I literally got across the street, and I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Came right back inside, so I'm gonna have to drive. Well, obviously where I live, there's one across the street, but I'm parking right in front of that bank, pissing everybody off on where I've parked, and then just going in, doing my business, and coming right back out. So, yeah. Once again, guys, thank you all. If you could just hit that like and subscribe. Only 50 people of you. We had 6,000 at one point watching. So just keep an eye out. We're doing many things, man. We're talking about breakouts. We're trading small caps. We essentially trade the book at this point. We got a bunch of different styles, as Sean always mentions. But we also just want to teach, I think, proper risk management. I think that's one of the most important things. We go over that all the time, is just get out when you're supposed to. It's one of the harder skills to adopt here and adapt to in trading. So if you can catch any of that, then we'll rock and roll. As for SLV, definitely our better trade on the session, guys. So yeah, we're happy about this one. Mortal Kombat, I just think Mortal Kombat's a better game in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. Well, wow. The people think so.
People think so as well?
It's right, 60%.
I was about to start playing Street Fighter right now.
Yeah, play games real.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of emulators online.
Is there?
Yo, they're fantastic.
I always thought Mortal Kombat was a bigger game. A little cold. Yeah, weak sauce. Afraid of the cold as a Canadian. Hey, man, I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it whatsoever, but I'm not afraid of it. It's just a little bit of a walk down to College Street, and we wanted to obviously focus on here. And I didn't want to have to go and wait in the TD Bank lineup as well, too. We tried. That's all that matters. But did we try our hardest?
Hold on, Joey. We're going to do it live.
Going to pull it up here? You can do that, hey?
Yeah, of course. Wait. Oh, there we go.
Dang. Capcom.
Hey, let's do this.
We're gonna play. Who are you gonna be?
We're gonna play Turbo. Of course, I'm gonna be. Yeah. All right, we're gonna go game start. All right, let's do this.
Get it done quick.
Ryu.
Ryu, bam.
100%. We're gonna go Ryu.
Gonna fight
no
here.
question about it. We're gonna fight Zangief. He's in trouble, my boy.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what level we're on here.
Oh, you're already getting murked.
Oh, that's cheap.
How do you know the buttons like that, though, my boy?
Crazy, my boy? Hadouken!
This guy's been playing. That's crazy.
Mess him up, man. I'll mess this guy up. He's done.
This guy's played a couple times. Oh.
You're done, my boy.
KO.
You're done, my boy. It's all over.
Like
there it is. Let's end that. All right. let's get to the news. All right, guys, by the way, I'm done my trade on PL. Took it out at the high of the day. Was it on there? That was awesome. I didn't realize it was on there. I took out my PL into the high of the day, guys. This one looks like it is on the way to 19, though, so be careful, first of all, for that 19 rejection as we get into the whole dollar. If it does pass 19, watch for the squeeze possibly into 20, as this one could really get going. It's been a steady state, higher high, higher low, but above the whole dollar, we don't really know exactly how it'll act. Let's start, though, with the lesson of the day. I just have to open up my own here because I've been making copies of these because I've been marking up all the other ones, and I know you guys don't really want to see all the markings, so I took those ones off. All right, let's start. Broadcom. Blood is in the street today for Broadcom. As you know, down 10.5. It is short sale restricted. It is off the lows, though. The low of the day, 359.01. It's at 363 right now, but it was basically up after the earnings report, and then Hock Tan came in on the earnings call, said he wasn't going to guide, and then all hell broke loose to the downside. But it was a clean beat on both the top and bottom line, with EPS coming in at $1.95, beating the $1.86 expected by analysts on revenue of $18.02 billion, ahead of the $17.49 expected by analysts. Guiding only one quarter. Part of the reason why we sold off. Not the only reason, but they guided fiscal Q1 revenue of $19.1 billion, which would be about $1 billion higher than Q4. This is Q4 for him, and also implying a 28% year-over-year increase from Q1 of last year, well ahead as well of the consensus estimate of $18.3 billion. He did say, the CEO, Hock Tan, said AI chip sales are expected to double year-over-year to $8.2 billion, driven by, of course, custom silicon, a euphemism, a synonym for ASICs, application-specific integrated circuits. Super important right now, as well as their networking, AI networking silicon. I know somebody in the chat was telling me, look, Broadcom does a lot more than custom silicon. You're absolutely right. They're in the networking game as well. Their AI revenue, really responsible for the majority of their gains, was up 74% year-over-year, accounting for the bulk of their growth. Now, with respect to their custom silicon, they added a fifth customer, being Anthropic, and that is who is behind the $10 billion order for Google's TPUs. Widely speculated that it was Anthropic, kind of a hard thing to keep secret. They did also report a backlog, much like the RPOs that we've been talking about for Oracle. They reported a $73 billion backlog, likely over the next 18 months. But Hock Tan on the call said that's the orders he has now. He's expecting a lot more in the next few months, given what the discussions between him and other companies have been. If you believe that, then this is going to be fundamentally changed. If you don't believe that, if you think maybe he's talking out of his rear end, then maybe this is a great short. But Broadcom, Joey, it's been fantastic this year. It's still up 58% year to date, but much, much less than it was, a couple hours ago.
Yeah. I mean, this thing, we were talking at the beginning of this this AI boom that it was going to be AMD and NVDA leading the race, but then Broadcom changed that narrative really quick. Hock Tan, the CEO, noted that the company's fast-growing AI revenue has lower gross margins than its non-AI revenue.
Oh.
So what I'm getting at here, I think this has been the narrative. We've seen it in the likes of Oracle as well, too, guys. They're worried about how much they have to spend to meet their obligations. And now you can see that, I'm not saying that the bubble is bursting, I'm far from that point, but you can see where the worries is starting to lie within Wall Street and some of these chip makers. It's the margins that it's really capital expenditure heavy, and the street is worried about that, especially when you're priced to perfection. So keep that in mind, guys. As for Broadcom, let's pull up the daily and see what we got going on. I thought that was a very interesting part there, is that you would think something that would have a little bit higher margins. That doesn't seem to be the case, and that's maybe why Broadcom and Oracle have been in so much trouble over the past little while. All right, more or less Broadcom from today. We'll go head over to the daily or from yesterday's earnings report. You're not going to deny this move from April, right? 200%. Bring it into that $1 trillion club. Unfortunately, you do from that peak. You're now down 12%. Watch out for a little bit more selling. Momentum is extremely key, but I think Broadcom is one of those names that you want to have the ability to take advantage of at lower prices. Don't go all in at once. Slowly start to allocate just in case you start to fill some gaps. This is going to be a big-time move. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do head into this $324 level, and then that's going to drag the overall market down with it. We talked about NVDA as well, too. forming that head and shoulders. Really, really bearish pattern starting to be formed across the board. Keep an eye out on that, guys.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to point out as well, Joey and I talked about this earlier, but this is the daily chart on AVGO, and it's been a clean hold on the 50 for, I want to say, going back to August, maybe even earlier since it took out the 50. This is the tariff tantrum in April. Prior to that, it had been really looking more towards the 200 than the 50, but ever since the tariff tantrum, back in, I want to say, early April, it has been finding support at the 50, but none have looked as aggressive as this drop here, right? So this is the one that we're just facing right now. By the way, where it was holding up before, which is the 200, that was before the tariff tantrum, that level's at 300. So the 200 exponential is at $300 and the simple is at 280. So, it could get a lot worse before it gets better. So we'll see. By the way, guys, I want to mention that OCG is continuing to go. It's insane. It's up to $3.45 now, up 265%. We were dealing with this one when it was 78%, guys. My biggest winner on the day. It's continuing to run. It's a very aggressive 348 high. Be careful, though, because, this one can cause a little bit of trouble. Outlaw Trader, Sharif, Premier League, PL, new highs. I know, brother. I took it out. I had to take it out there because we're doing the news. But let me just pull up my screen. I have to pull up this on the last chart. Here's Premier League. No, that's not Premier League. There it is. Into 19 it goes. In fact, it's a 1906 high a day now on PL, up 8 3/4. So very, very strong, very directional, and held the breakout area. I'm talking about that 1840 that we spoke about, and held it very, very cleanly, okay? Let's go on to the next story. Costco, we didn't say much about this at all on the show today, but we need to speak about Costco because it's been, let's take a look at the chart first and foremost before we even start talking about the earnings report. Let's see what COST has been up to, Assassino. It hasn't looked good. It hasn't looked good at all. We made highs in February of this year. We tried to test those highs again in June. And since those February highs, the current price action, Costco, 20%. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. 20% off the highs into another area of technical support. I want to mention this 875-ish area for Costco. Look at this long area of consolidation at 875. Look at this drop in March and April. Even the tariff tantrum ended up finding support at this area. I'm not saying we're gonna stop dropping here on COST, but this is an area of importance. I'm talking about this buy zone here. I wanna say 860 to 880, okay, for COST. So let's keep an eye out on that. I used to be a Costco shareholder, haven't been for a while. They delivered a solid fiscal Q1 beat, exceeding expectations on both the top and bottom line. EPS coming in at $4.50 ahead of the $4.27 expected on revenue of $67.31 billion. Barely beating out the 67.14, but a beat nonetheless. Digital here was a standout for the company in terms of strength, with their e-commerce sales continuing to grow aggressively, jumping this quarter 20.5% above last year on the quarter's numbers. Their website traffic increased 24%, which makes sense with their e-commerce jumping, with their app traffic up 48%. So they're getting it from every side there when it comes to e-commerce and digital momentum. So good look for them. As you know, I think a lot of people don't want to go into the stores because it's absolute chaos inside the stores. So if you can do your shopping online, I think that makes sense. Total paid memberships from which they make a lot of money, 81.4 million now. That's up 5.2% year over year, with total card holders increasing 5.1 to about 145.9 million. Their renewal rates remain elevated at 92.2%, so they're able to hold on to current clients. That's 92.2% in the US and 89.7% in Canada, basically very similar, but though slightly lower though, as more members are signing up online. They also opened up 8 new warehouse locations during the quarter, bringing their total global stores to 921. And management said on the call they're expecting to open up 30 more clubs this year, supporting that steady growth. And here's the thing that you and I were talking about many times, Joey, about 1/3 of Costco's U.S. sales come from U.S. sales, doesn't mean global, U.S. come from imported goods, making, of course, tariffs a key point for them, hence why they are suing President Trump's administration to collect all the the money that they've paid back, basically trying to, you know, lock in their rights. They also added, you'll recall, and we looked at this as sort of antagonistic to President Trump, adding Gina Raimondo, the former Commerce Secretary under President Biden, to their board. So we'll have to see what kind of a move there, but they have been trying to mitigate their tariff exposure, Joey, by sourcing more domestic products.
Yeah, and I know they were trying to just keep those fees off of the consumer for some time. We'll talk a little bit more about this. Guys, everybody's wondering about what's going on in the market. We have a big time volume spike. I was going to look something
Good or bad?
Pardon me?
Good or bad on the market right now?
Good, yeah, a big pop-up
nice.
pop-up there, a big-time recovery. Tesla starting to climb a little bit higher, NVDA, and so on and so on. Yeah, Sharif pretty much nailed it on the head there. We got 30 new locations opening up, a new one in France, so I think that's going to put that tally up to 30. There's going to be a couple, or 3, sorry, in France, and then we're going to see some more locations here in Canada as well, too. So more warehouses is going to be phenomenal, in my opinion. Obviously, the membership fee increase, a lot of that revenue, I think approximately 1.4 billion is coming from membership fees, which is fantastic. When you see a name like this down X amount of percent, I think you slowly want to start buying it. Costco isn't going anywhere. I mean, one thing actually that I will leave, Sharif, and I want to know your thoughts on this. We know that people are having less kids, and that means less bigger families, right? So what does that mean for Costco? Because the families who usually are 2 or 3 plus are going to Costco because they can buy things in bulk. So I think that's something to look out for. But as for what we got going on from a technical standpoint, you're down 20%. You're almost in that bearish territory. I think Costco's a slow buy, just like Broadcom, NVDA, and any of these big time names. Walmart is if you get Walmart down 20%, I think it's time to start dabbling in it a little bit.
I would have to agree. I don't know. That's actually a great question. That's a very, very macro question to ask. I gotta agree. I don't know the answer to that, Joey, but I don't know if immigration offsets that.
Right.
Well, we know that we've had a much slower immigration time, or like immigrants coming into this country now, and I know
and in the States as well.
In the States as well, exactly. So that's a really good point, brother. I really didn't have an opportunity to think about that. Yeah, I have to do more digesting. Just sending a message here quickly. Unit 1, right, Katina, man? Unit 1, yep. Thank you very much. Shout out to Andrew, man. Appreciate you, Andrew. That's very kind of you, brother. He's just asking for the address because he's sending over some presents.
Oh, whoa.
All right, let's talk about the new EO. The AI EO. That was hilarious. All right, guys. Executive order by President Trump yesterday with respect to AI. It's going to establish a single federal regulatory framework for artificial intelligence, explicitly limiting the ability of individual states to impose their own AI rules. The order here argues that the state-level regulation creates friction for innovation, framing deregulation as a way to go. The administration's move is designed to preempt state AI laws, especially from from the bigger states who have more people. The order directs the Attorney General to create an AI litigation task force, which is tasked with the sole purpose of challenging state AI laws that conflict with federal standards. The states that fail to comply could face restrictions on federal funding, as well as adding financial pressures that align with the new framework. Here's the deal, though. Analysts are seeing this as a clear win for major AI players like your Googles, your OpenAIs, your Anthropics, et cetera, as AI firms have significantly increased their Washington presence. Now we know there's an AI super PAC now with at least $100 million earmarked for the 2026 midterms. And David Sachs, the AI czar, as well as Chama Palihapitiya, were present at the signing with President Trump there, of course, as David Sachs is the AI czar. It makes sense that he's there, Joey.
Absolutely. All right, guys. I just found something crazy. I'm digging into exchanges and stumbled across BTCC, top 30 globally. But here's the wild part. BTCC has never been hacked. While major exchanges keep getting wrecked, BTCC stays untouched. Zero know your customer if you're in the US, Canada, or Europe. Through Trader TV, you get 100 USDT coupons for registering, and plus a 15% bonus thing that covers losses up to 15K USD. Seriously, what am I missing here? Scan the QR code for more information. So yeah, there it is.
Give us your take on this AI EO.
Sorry, man, I was distracted.
All good, brother. Let's go on to the next story. Lululemon shares jump on the CEO exit, but there was a mixed guidance. They beat, but their guide was uncertain. So CEO Calvin McDonald, he's out, and he's out on the 31st of January, so he has a little bit more than a month in office. He's going to remain as a senior advisor through the end of March, so March 31st will be his last day, according to the company. It's going to be CFO Megan Frank and Chief Commercial Officer Andre Mastrini. They're going to serve as interim co-CEOs while the company looks for a replacement. And the board here emphasized they're looking for growth and transformation. So they are not looking for the same old kind of CEO. They're open to strategic changes rather than the status quo execution. I don't know exactly what that means, okay? Whether they're going to go a different way, maybe they get some different colors. We'll have to wait and see. But apparently they are looking to change things up. Didn't really emphasize what that was going to be. With respect to the numbers, EPS came in at $2.59, easily beating the $2.25 expected by the street on revenue of $2.57 billion, beating the $2.48 billion nicely there. Despite the beat, though, net income did decline as a result of margin pressure and higher costs tied to tariffs. That's what the company said. They guided decent. It came in below the expectations, even though management cited good holiday trends. Their Q4 EPS outlook guiding 466 to 76. The street wanted 503. So an easy miss there for earnings. With revenue also dropping below expectations, 3.5 to 3.59. The street wanted 3.6, so you could say the high end of the range could be, in line with expectations. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they're guiding lower to kind of give that new CEO a bit of buffer room. Their revenue, though, geographically here, really diverged. Their American revenue declined 2%. With comparable sales also down 5%, but that juxtaposed that to their international revenue, which rocketed 33%, with comps up 18% internationally. So, Joey, are they falling out of favor? Are they now out of style in North America, but they're in vogue globally? What the hell is this?
Did you see how much the China sales grew?
No, I didn't see China
46%.
sales. 46%.
That's huge, right? That's massive. That's massive. In my opinion. Massive, man, massive. But no, in all seriousness, dude, I've been saying this for quite some time. One day in the retail space, you're hot. The next day, you're not. It's really tough. Look at probably the most popular brand of all time, Nike. Look what happens to that stock.
Destroyed.
Right? I mean, what I was thinking here last night, Sharif, when I was reading up on the report, I don't know. This is my opinion. I think it's best that they close some storefronts and go e-commerce, go online. I understand that you have that warehouse, but you eliminate a big factor and a lot of expenses. And we've seen Amazon's probably the most successful e-commerce business on the planet. There's no, we don't have any storefronts here, I don't think, in Canada.
There's a couple of smaller grocery ones in the States, but they're
they're small. But that's where their success lies, and I think that's where you can find Gymshark, no storefronts as well too. I just think it's a really difficult space to be in. And when the brand is, like, I'm not saying that it's dying, but it's cooling off. It's not as popular as.
And you know who's eating their lunch?
On in our aloe
Aloe's
and stuff like
eating
that.
their lunch
But see, you know what I mean? Lululemon was the aloe at one point when it came in, right? Like, so again, it's an ever-revolving door. Gymshark was hot, aloe's hot, and then you have now Lululemon. So I think it's best that they start to rotate a little bit more into the e-commerce, because that is growing a little bit more online sales, which I think is extremely important.
Gym wear. I see the girls at the gym wearing this Define. Have you seen this?
No.
A lot of the girls at the gym are wearing this Define. Do you guys know about this? I mean, I guess they have men's stuff as well, but I haven't seen many men wearing this at the gym. But this is apparently I don't know, man. I'm seeing everybody with define on their shorts or on their shirts.
No, it was like, see, that's the thing. At one point, it's Nike, it's Adidas, it's Lululemon, it's Gymshark. Now you have Define. Now you have the Young LA coming up and coming. You see the Young LA?
No.
You never seen this?
No.
Wow, look up Young LA.
Young LA?
Gym attire. Like this thing is
like
taking,
this?
Yeah.
Young LA Canada?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude,
okay.
this is taking, like, you have the Trend Twins on there. You have all of those guys. You know the Trend Twins? These two little twins that are just all about the anabolics and the,
No, I don't know. What are these people,
I
bro?
thought you would know. But again, Brando mentioned it this morning on something else, but it seems like this attire is slowly starting to get polluted with a bunch of different brands, and it's hard to stay afloat.
I agree with you.
Listen, the quality on Lululemon is fantastic. It's just relatively expensive as well.
It is, man. It's not supposed to be cheap. I want to hear what some of you guys have to say about this. You're showing the wrong yoga picture. Come on, bro. Keep it clean. All right. What else, you guys? Oh, come on now. Gundam. I'm not trying to show any pictures of mine. Fluffy. I have Defined. I love it. Great fit and works with you. Interesting. All right. Gym equals new fashion show. I only wear Yeezy. All right, guys. And some people are saying it's a waste of money. It's not cheap. That's for sure. So I don't know if it's a waste of money, but it's definitely going to require a little bit of money. Let's talk about cannabis, because a lot of these cannabis names, well, MSOS is up 82%. That's the triple leveraged marijuana ETF, MSOS. It's up to almost $7, up 82% on the day, up $3.14 on this reason. There are reports coming out of Washington that President Trump may push to reclassify marijuana and move it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, which recognizes the medical use and the lower dependency risk. The White House emphasized, though, that no final decision has been made, and the schedule shift would allow regulation but could materially reduce the legal and the financial barriers. Let's talk about what those legal and financial barriers are. The reclassification could ease banking restrictions, reduce the tax burdens, namely, right now, when you incur business costs in the course of business, you can't offset that against profits. Now you'd be able to do that. That's huge. And it's also going to improve access to institutional capital. This move by the Trump administration would align with a previous effort by the Biden administration back in March of 24 to reclassify it, though that process stalled once the DEA got involved. Any reclassification as well, it's not a done deal. It would require coordination across multiple agencies and, in fact, could face legal challenges. So we'll have to wait and see whether the Trump administration would even defend that. Is this a priority for them? I gotta tell you, I didn't think that reclassification push would come from the Republicans, but it is coming from the Republicans, and I feel that speaks more to the changing, the winds of change have come in into the cannabis sector, where it's no longer along political lines. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree with you. I thought, Sharif, if anything, it was going to come from the Democrats.
So did I.
At the end of the day, but no, that never happened. I mean, about time. At the end of the day, you got to, like, in my opinion, I think alcohol is substantially worse than marijuana.
So do I.
And again, to each their own. But I mean, a reclassification is pretty good. We'll take that. It's a step in the right direction. We already know a couple of states it's legal, whether it be Nevada, Las Vegas.
A bunch of states now.
Yeah, there's a bunch of states.
Even New York, across the border, Joey.
York, California as well.
California's been a minute.
Yeah, so a lot of it's just going to be slow. So the prohibition within maybe the marijuana slowly coming to an end.
Let's read Jacques' comment there. I know a lot of people, VPs and such at Nike, they tried to get away from retail and go full online when it was the previous CEO. Now they're rehiring a lot of people they let go. I know, Joey, as he was talking about that, the first thing that came to my mind was Nike, right? Remember their direct-to-consumer push? They tried to put everything online and in their Nike stores at the malls, and they kind of took out the best Jordans, the best Nike Air Maxes from the Foot Lockers and the Dick's Sporting Goods. Well, they're going back to that now. And the reason cited by the company, if my memory serves me right, is they wanted that three-wall advertising, right? They want you to go into the mall and see their products in live and living color on the wall, and then, you know, make purchases the old-fashioned way. Whether or not that works out, we'll have to see for Nike. But yeah, I completely agree with you. There was that DTC push by the brand, and they've kind of stepped back away from that now. Let's talk about.
Sorry,
go ahead, Joey.
One more thing. You know how like I don't know if you went through this in high school, but they said marijuana is like the gateway drug to other things.
Yeah, they used to say that all the time.
In my opinion, that's BS. It's alcohol, because when you're drinking alcohol, you really the IDGAF meter just goes all the way through the roof.
I love that DJF meter.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's true.
All right, let's go on to the next. Sorry, I happen to agree, but I think let's just go on here. Citigroup upgraded to overweight by JP Morgan. I love when these banks upgrade and downgrade each other, but hey, it's an upgrade. So Citibank's only up 0.5%, but let's see why JP Morgan likes them. They upgraded them from neutral to overweight, citing stronger leverage to a solid U.S. economy, as well as market-driven activity relative to their peers. It's analyst Vivek Junja highlighting Citi's revenue mix, which is more exposed to capital markets and the macro-sensitive activity, and it's positioned well if the economic momentum holds. If, that's a big if there. Citi continues to benefit as well from the multi-year transformation, including improvements to their efficiency ratio and steady progress on regulatory consent orders. Again, we've been talking a lot about this. President Trump made it very clear during the campaign and in the early stages of his presidency, his second presidency, that there was going to be a deregulatory tailwind coming to the banking sector. We're still yet to see that. A lot of analysts were saying it was going to come in the fall, but here we are in the winter. JP expects Citi's profitability to improve faster than its peers, and they've raised the price target from 107 to 124. Not much to say in the way of price action today, Joey, but they're back above $200 billion market cap.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tom Lee, obviously, he doesn't have the best calls on what's been going on with Ethereum, but he mentioned these banks just heading into a growth cycle. Citigroup from a daily, like look at JPM, look at XLF. From April, these guys are being non-affected by the AI trade. It's not even in my opinion. It's on full display right here, guys. 102% off of the lows.
Off the April lows?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And this is Citi, right? So I mean, at the end of the day, I mentioned this from before. There's
These are
other
all-time highs, Joey?
Yeah, big time.
Highs,
Yeah, big time.
Jeez,
in Citi.
bro.
And I mean, I mentioned this before. There's other ways and there's other solid trades, and it's the banks right now, in my opinion, other than just something that has to do with the TPU, GPU, cloud, or anything along those lines. And I think XLF and the banks is the way to go. So
all right.
I think a lot of good going on for the bank sector.
Yeah, XLF is a good one. If you don't really want to pick any winners, sure. Let's go into Rivian. Big day for them yesterday. Their inaugural Autonomy and AI Day, where they unveiled their first custom self-driving computer chip called the Rivian Autonomy Processor. And the reason they're doing it in-house, again, like we talked about when we spoke about the Broadcom story, is to better control their performance, the cost, and the autonomy development timelines. So again, this is an ASIC, application-specific integrated circuit that they are using here. They are not going the NVIDIA route. They are not going the AMD route. They are doing it in-house. And the shares fell roughly at one point yesterday, 9%, which is one of their largest one-day declines in nearly a year. But I believe we have gotten bought up and then some. Let's take a look quickly at the chart on Rivian before we go on to the next part of the story. Where are we here on Rivian? Oh man, we got it nicely here, Joey. This is a nice breakout there, taking out recent highs. Fantastic look. I don't feel that it was justified to sell them off on that news. Let's talk about the custom silicon and their path to higher autonomy. This Rivian autonomy processors that they talked about yesterday is designed to handle high data throughput. It's going to come from the cameras, the radar, and the LiDAR system. It's going to be able to take all three and digest it, make it into a cohesive whole. And it's also going to support the long-term goal for the company to get that level 4 autonomy. The chip is going to work alongside Rivian's new foundational AI system called the Large Driving Model, not large language model, large driving model, with management expecting full sensors and compute stack to be live by late 26. So we're talking about maybe a year, 10 months from now. Their autonomy, though, their autonomy software is looking to challenge the likes of Tesla. They introduced Autonomy Plus to go with the hardware, of course, as we know. which is a paid driver assistance package. It's going to cost you $2,500 up front, or if you want to go that monthly route, it's going to cost you $50 a month. Now, compare that to Tesla's price, which is about $8,000 US or $99 a month. Now, I'm not saying they're as good as Tesla's. I have no idea. We haven't seen it. But that is a marked difference in the price there. They're saying their universal hands-free feature covers more than 3.5 million miles of roads across the US and Canada, and they confirmed, and this was met with cheers, huge cheers in the crowd, that they will use LiDAR sensors on their next-gen R2 models. I know you're a big fan of LiDAR, Joey, at least in the short term, with the likes of Waymo using it successfully.
My big question is this going to be, I'm not saying that there's this one factor coming into play, but is this going to be enough to save the stock? I don't know, man. And my other question to you, Sharif, is I haven't really heard much from the likes of GM and Ford on self-driving. Nothing. So what happens when this stuff is fully in play? You have Rivian, you have the Teslas, you have the Waymos. What's going to happen to those other vehicles? Because I think at some point, everybody's going to lean to the fact like FSD is the future. I don't want to have to control the steering wheel anymore. And I think that's going to put these names underwater even more. And I'm talking about Ford and GM.
No, I agree with you. I think maybe what they do is they license.
Mimic the
they don't even need to mimic it. They license it until they can come up. Guys, we have to pause for a second because OCG is insane, okay? Insane. It is up 348%. It is now halted at $4.08. The rocket ship that is OCG continues to go. Halt time 137.56. Tap 430. Halt price 408. We'll keep an eye out on this one. What a move up here for OCG. U.S. stock trader saying OCG starts the second fair value gap now. He's estimating that goes from 367 to 647. Shout out to U.S. stock trader. Love the technical looks and how you're speaking about it in that way. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you for that. Let's go on to the next story here. The dead one, Apple, got a bit of a slap in the face yesterday from the Court of Appeal. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals largely ruled in favor of Epic Games, rejecting Apple's challenge to a prior ruling that found the company engaged in anti-competitive conduct related, of course, to the App Store payments. The court upheld the contempt finding against Apple because they had said Apple, was not listening to the court's orders. And they left intact the injunction that requires Apple to allow developers to direct users to alternative payment options outside of the Apple Store. The Court of Appeal directed the trial judge, Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers, to reconsider whether Apple should be allowed to collect commissions on payments made outside the App Store, and the court did not restore Apple's ability to fully book or control the external payment mechanisms. Apple could still seek further review by appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court, but until now, they have not shown an inclination to do so. Joey, should they just take this ruling and move on with things, allow developers to funnel people outside the App Store so they can take they can pay much less, and Apple doesn't get 30%?
Yeah, I think so at some point, man. Apple, regardless of what's going on with that, I think Apple has been phenomenal. It might be easier for them to go that road as well, too. So could seek further review by appealing. That's just going to cost them a little bit more money, but it's pennies on the dollar, essentially, for AAPL. What they got going on with Epic Games is fine. I know they're creators of Fortnite as well, too. So, yeah, I mean, not much really more I could say on that factor. Sure. Apple, it's gonna be collecting money left, right, and center, regardless of what happens, Sharif, in my opinion.
All right, let's go on to Alphabet, seen as heading higher on AI momentum. TD Cowen giving Google the nod today and reiterating their buy rating and raising the price target $15 from $335 to $350. We know Goggle's the best performing Mag 7 name on the year, bar none, up 65% year to date. But the firm believes there's more room to go, driven by what they're saying is the AI fundamentals of the company. They said the price target follows the price target increase, follows what TD Cowen views as successful integration of AI overviews with AI mode within the broader Google search. The firm now forecasts Google search revenue growing at a 10.2% CAGR, compounding annual growth rate over the next 5 years. And the higher growth expectations, TD Cowen says, are driven by increased query volume and engagement. So we have been talking so much about, AI eating search's lunch, but the query volume is still going higher. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens. They also raised the estimate for the Gemini monthly active users all the way up to 850 million by the end of this year, up from 600 million previously. That's a marked guide there as Gemini 3 came out. Speaking of Gemini 3, they're saying the app could approach 3 billion users by the end of the decade, by 2030. Who knows whether this is going to happen? This is their prediction. And they're saying the rising Gemini chatbot usage has really been picked up ever since Gemini 3 was launched, so that's kind of why they're changing their tune. They also highlighted Alphabet's advertising business as a key pillar, calling Google, quote, the best positioned mobile advertising company due to their scale, Joey, as well as their traffic advantages.
Man, we're just watching this company's ecosystem continuously grow here, Sharif. These guys are going to be a force to be reckoning with, in my opinion, if they already are at this point. I know Sean likes Gemini a little bit more than ChatGPT at this point. I mean, watch out, man. These guys have the cash. They have all of the resources on hand. And I would be afraid if I'm ChatGPT of what these guys can potentially do. They have the phone. They have more data backing everything. So it's just all the stars are starting to align for Google to really take a massive part of the market share in this AI or this LLM race.
So here it is, guys. We have ChatGPT 5.2. So this one was released yesterday and sent Google stock down a little bit. Look, Altman posted on X comps of how, ChatGPT 5.2 measures versus Gemini 3.0. But is it really about the comps, the technical comps now, or is it who can funnel more users and create more daily active users, whether or not the actual model is better, right? So many people have already, move their way into the Google ecosystem, right? I use Google Docs, I use Gmail, I use many other Google products. Obviously, on the floor here, we're using the messaging app on Google. So Google's ecosystem is a lot broader than ChatGPT's ecosystem. I think what ChatGPT had going for it was first mover advantage, where everybody really liked chat and got into that. And to be fair to them, they kept making good improvements. But is this one of those BlackBerry Apple moments, right? Where, BlackBerry had first mover advantage with respect to the smartphone, but Apple ate their lunch because of the App Store.
Yeah. Well, my question would be, what can you provide me outside of ChatGPT, right?
Well, that's a great question.
Right.
And that's why he brought in Johnny Ive, because he wanted to get that physical product.
He needs a physical product. And they don't have that right now.
Right.
And with that being said, Sharif, that there's no guarantee that the physical product is going to take off.
No.
Look who you
not at all.
Look who you have to compete against already in the ecosystem. Apple, Google, you have the Android phones as well too. We don't know what the actual device may be, but if it's going to be something like a wearable, well, guess what? You have competition within that as well too.
Already.
Again, with Apple and Meta and everything along those lines.
Well said.
So yeah, it's what can you provide me outside of ChatGPT? Having $1 trillion valuation, I don't know what else, and this is a genuine question, other than what this is, that's valued at $1 trillion. So what does that mean for Gemini? Well, do add an additional, 500 billion onto the market cap?
Great point.
Right?
Great point. All right, I want to call out some things here. The Katina Man is short SMCI right now at 33.27. Shout out to Ichiro. I really like ChatGPT's memory feature. Well said. And that was a major issue, Ichiro, as you know, that the memory was very limited, right? So you could only take a certain chat up to a certain point, and then, the memory tapped out. What I'm finding, Ichiro, is that the memory feature works. It's good, but it really slows down that specific chat if you really prolong the interactions with it. So when I do my summaries in the morning, I'm maintaining that same chat. But when there's just way too many summaries within that one chat, it slows down like you wouldn't believe. I have to start a new chat in order to get it sped up again. So I agree with you, but there are some drawbacks to that memory feature. But great point from all of you guys.
Like, I mean, like, listen, one time, did I tell you this story? So one time I was having a conversation with ChatGPT, and Milo kept interrupting. I said, "Be quiet, Milo." And ChatGPT is like, "Oh, it sounds like you have a dog in the background." Yeah, crazy stuff. So then, anyways, I go, "Hey, what can I give Milo?" And blah, blah, blah. He's like, "Oh, yeah, how's your dog doing, by the way?" And talks to me. So it recalls all the previous conversations.
And I want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
That the ChatGPT voice feature, the one that you can interact with, is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you know Arabic is country dependent. Not one Arab country speaks like the other. They just don't. They all have different accents and words that they use. And so Egyptian Arabic is very, very specific because it's mixed in with so many different cultures. And so speaking Egyptian Arabic is almost entirely different than any other. The woman on the ChatGPT is fantastic at Egyptian Arabic.
The English guy on mine.
You have the English guy?
It sounds more smart. It sounds more legit, right? You gotta have the English guy on.
I like it. All right, let's talk about Citi initiating coverage on Boeing. Not a moment too soon there, Citi. They've only existed for like 100 years. So Citi initiated coverage of Boeing with a buy rating and a $265 price target, implying basically a 32% upside from yesterday's close. The call is part of a broader constructive outlook on the U.S. aerospace defense sector, which Citi views as entering a multi-year growth phase. Yes, the demand is there, but can they make the airplanes? Citi highlighted aerospace and defense as being the center of several secular megatrends that are largely independent of the near-term economic cycles. They're talking about, of course, the spending on defense, as well as the expansion of the commercial airline space. And they like the Boeing turnaround narrative. Citi acknowledged Boeing's series of major setbacks in the recent years, especially around safety and quality and stuff. But they believe now it is an attractive turnaround phase, especially with new management supported by leadership changes and a sharper focus on operational discipline. Citi pointed to Boeing's massive backlog and improving order momentum, a return to positive free cash flow as well. The last earnings report, along with the production ramp up of, yes, their best-selling airplane, the 737 MAX, despite the fact that it's much maligned, and the 787 program, which is the highest margin product in the commercial space, of course. Defense, a different story. Joey, Boeing, thoughts?
I mean, I'm asking Gemini a question right now. So, however, based on the document, it's not giving me an exact number. Okay, that's not the answer that I was looking for. But I'm like, I asked it essentially, how much of the market share in the commercial airspace does Boeing hold? And I'm going to say it's the majority. It's the majority. Its only competition is Airbuses.
Yeah, exactly.
And a couple other, I know, as Sina was telling us about the Brazilian
Embraer,
one. Yeah. Okay, aside from that, no one's flying that. No offense, in here in Canada, it's usually
Airbus. Very few.
Yeah, very few, right? Aside if you're going from there to there. Exactly. I just think that this stock is extremely underperforming. It's fantastic that they get to increase production, and obviously with that they need to meet deliveries and exceed it, but this name has been in turbulence for quite some time, and it needs to break up out of it. I think that it should be performing significantly better. They need to get the FAA on their side once again, which they have, and things are slowly they're starting to mend that relationship, but I don't know what it is, man. If it's a margin thing, a margin issue, or whatever it is, I just think that this stock should be performing significantly better just due to the fact of how much market share they actually hold. And people are flying every single day. The backlogs on the airplanes are absolutely massive. China putting in new orders as well, too. So it's like, what is going on with this name? I think it should be performing significantly better than what
I got to agree with you. But I do have an answer. I think they're just, their execution is struggling, right? And we don't really know exactly why the execution part is. It's hard to know if you're not part of the company.
Obviously, how
Spirit,
exactly how where you're getting most of your all your parts and your widgets and gadgets from. Obviously, a big issue. The supply chain is what I was trying to get at there. But I think at some point they've been in business for how long? they need to get their act together and just get this thing rocking and rolling.
All right, let's talk about Eli Lilly. We gave you guys a very important story that Lilly was coming with that next gen GLP-1. It's mixed with this other compound as well. And it got the nod from the FDA to accelerate it. Now we have more information on that acceleration. So senior FDA leadership has pressed internal reviewers to sharply accelerate the filing review phase for Eli Lilly's experimental obesity pill, orforglipron, under a new expedited pathway. Documents reviewed by Reuters show the FDA's commissioner's office initially proposed cutting the filing review period from 60 days down to as little as a week before internal resistance led to a discussion of a compromise window of 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the application complexity. So let's talk about this potential March decision, which could come versus the original May timeline. If the shortened review timeline is adopted, Lilly could receive FDA decision as early as March 28th, well ahead of the May 20th we had been previously expecting. With the accelerated path would allow technical and labeling reviews to run in parallel with filing checks, which helps compress, of course, the overall approval process without formally changing some of the issues there. Lilly and Novo Nordisk dominate the fast-growing obesity market, with analysts estimating it could reach $150 billion by the early 2030s. And I don't have the exact data right now, but it was 23, I believe, and change % for those who used it for, I think, 63 or 68 weeks in terms of weight loss. But those who stayed on it past 63 weeks actually saw almost 30% weight loss. And apparently it helped as well with osteoarthritis, especially in the knees. Pain was down 60 some odd %. I jokingly said yesterday, how do you quantify pain reduction in a number? I guess maybe they gave them a scale of 1 to 10 and said, maybe choose how much down you are in your pain. So anyway, Joey, Eli Lilly seems to be getting a helping hand here from the administration. Could this be because they want American dominance in the GLP world, especially since it's a two-horse race right now?
Absolutely.
With Pfizer still behind between NVO and LLY. So they're helping push LLY.
I think so.
Possibly at the expense of some safety, though. What do you think?
I think that'll come. That's what it's going to come down to, Sharif. I talked about this before. Just the pill. I mean, 30% in 62 weeks. I mean, hey, to each their own. Aside from that, this pill, I think it's going to address multiple things, Sharif.
Okay.
Your total addressable market.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, storage costs as well, too, which I think is going to be a massive thing. What does that do? Increase your margins. So that's going to be good from the company, fundamentally. If the pill works for people, then good on you, and I'm happy that you're at least taking the right steps in order to do so. But that's where I stand with that. This pill is going to change things. People don't always want to inject themselves with the needle. So that's why I think that it's going to be able to broaden its market within this. And more, like if you can go to different countries as well too, who don't have the refrigeration storage. You can just store the pill as well too. So
for sure,
a lot of positive.
Absolutely, and it's I think the pricking thing is the people that
people get
back.
it from, right?
For sure. All right, last story here, guys. Not market moving for Intel, but another development in the Intel saga that we've been reporting to you guys on. Yesterday, we spoke about Lip-Bu Tan possibly having some conflicts of interest with companies that he's persuaded the board to invest into, or he pursued himself as CEO. We spoke about that, but then we also had the other side of the argument is that he's a well-connected fellow, and maybe this is good for Intel. Today, we find out a little bit more that Intel tested China-linked chip-making tools amid scrutiny here of the security. So Intel tested advanced chip-making tools this year from a company called ACM Research, which is a US-based equipment supplier with significant China ties, including units previously targeted by US sanctions. The tools in questions were the wet etch tools used in critical wafer processing steps, and they were used for the 14A node process, which is very similar to that Taiwan Semi 2 nanometer that we spoke about. Remember, Intel's two main foundry technologies right now are 18A and 14A, with 14A being the more advanced of the two. As this article states, it's the most advanced node planned for a 2027 launch. Reuters, though, to be fair, found no evidence Intel violated U.S. regulations, and it remains unclear whether Intel will actually adopt the tools in productions. So what's going on with this ACM unit? So 2 ACM units, one is based in Shanghai, the other in South Korea, were barred last year from receiving U.S. technology over allegations of supporting China's military. And lawmakers and national security experts arguing here, Intel's consideration of such tools risks sensitive know-how leaking to China and the displacement of trusted Western suppliers and even potential sabotage. Critics say the episode highlights gaps in U.S. technology protection policies, especially as Intel now receives U.S. government backing and, of course, subsidies, with the U.S. administration taking a 10% stake in Intel, Joey. We can keep going on here, but I think I've made the point. They're testing tools from companies that, may or may not have Chinese military links.
Yeah. I mean, I think the next story is interesting, Sharif. We should do that one as well, too.
Which one?
The Microsoft faces UK lawsuit. I mean, there another.
Another one. Yeah, I'm done with that. No, I'm not even going to do that. I've had it up to here, bro.
You had it up to there.
I've had it up to here with that.
Yeah, let's go Intel at the end of the day, man. What a big time recovery in this name. When the government took the 10% stake, I think that was going to be kind of the game changer within this.
Yes,
name.
sir.
So shout out to Lippu and company. This stock has over 100% from those April lows. So we're going to go from August, so we don't even have to go all the way back to April. You're at 99% to where we're currently trading at. And then up to $44, you're up 130% roughly from those August lows, a little bit more, 132%. So yeah, Intel, I think, is starting to turn the tide, Sharif, in my opinion. Things start to look upside for them.
That's the end of the news segment, guys. A few more minutes until the big kahunas come on, but let's look at what is running now in the world of small cap gappers. Look, OCG well off the highs, a 415 high, but the blood now in the streets on OCG as it drops into 250, getting bought up now into the 290s. It has dropped below the 10 EMA on the 5, and it is a 4-candle red setup. That's the bad news. The good news is still above the volume weighted average price of that 210 area, and 210 area is an interesting area of resistance. Also, this $0.50 where it found support, take a gander at that 1255 candle. Oh, look, there's no candle at 1255. How come? Because it was halted there. So the first up halt on OCG getting defended for the moment as this one dipped into that halt level, got right back up, and now is forming a red hammer candle. Be on the lookout for a move above 3, and then I would say stay away from this as a long until it shows you that first 5-minute candle to make a new high on a closing basis. So you're going to want to see something currently above that 315 area on a close, and it should be green. OCG has been a rocket ship on the day, and quite frankly, it hasn't bamboozled. I don't think it was bamboozling. I think it was a fair technical setup. It defended the 10 EMA quite well. You were able to gauge that multiple times, and we had a bunch of trades on this one. CLYM, one I was involved in as well. This one, much more choppy. As you can see there, the moving averages crossing over one another. You get breaches of the moving averages, and this one wasn't clean. But if you picked it up above $3 and you put your stop below 3, you did quite well. Okay, so CLYM, not looking too bad. Premier League, PL, another one that we have. And as I see, this is a multi-day runner. Look at this, Joey. Clean multi-day runner here on PL after being stagnant at around 12.5 for a period of weeks. 1910 high a day on PL. Invert or a hammer candle forming now that breached 1875, trying to get back above 19. I think this trade's the best part of it is behind it. We'll have to wait and see, but PL, not a bad look. YCBD, another one that we were trading a lot, but this one, very, very rangy. And it had aggressive short selling into the 140s, and it could never get into the 150. 149 high a day was the best it could do, but it is up a very respectable 98% on the day, and most notably trading above the volume weighted average price. So those are the ones that I think were the best of the bunch. ARBKL is up about 200%, but this was blocked on our system, and quite frankly, it's still trading below the volume weighted average price, and never really tested that 650 high a day on ARBKL. I didn't even really see too many people talking about this one in the chat either. So that's it, Joey. It was a good week today in the world of small cap gappers. I ended up having one negative name on the day. That was NCPL. That was my worst negative name on the day. Otherwise, we did all right today. Not a big day, of course. Never really is a big day for me, but we try to set up the good technical setups for you guys.
That's all that matters at the end of the day, man. Nice work, Sharif. One red name. I think that's a bonus in my opinion. See you later, Jody. Have a good weekend. You're going to be heading over to the big boys. Well, she just waved goodbye, so we'll say goodbye.
See you, Jody.
I mean, it's 2 o'clock now. We can go over some trades here. SLV was pretty good, and then we had MSOS before we sent it off to the big boys. Those were our 2 better trades on the session here earlier in the day. So, yeah, I hope everyone keeps that risk tight and rock and roll. It is Friday, so don't give up all your green here today. Relax, chill out with the boys. They're going to have some solid stores and some solid trading, and stay warm.
And what do you guys think about the board now?
That's wicked.
You guys saw the interview on there. They had Brendo there, and then the interview was a background. Man, we are pumped to have this. And by the way, this new desk, almost active too, guys. So this desk is going to be like so we can face each other. We're gonna have 2 people on that side, a couple of people, more than a couple, 4 people on this side. It's gonna be fantastic, man.
And Breno telling me a lot as well too, saying, hey, we'll turn around, we'll get the options activity, we'll get the upgrades and downgrades up there. I know people in the chat, I've seen people in the chat saying, hey, we should throw that up when I'm doing it, and don't worry, it's gonna come to that. It's not just a pretty screen, it's gonna come to use.
It's a very warm screen though,
is it hot over there?
Very warm.
Oh yeah, but
I love that.
Yeah, shout out to the hydro bill there.
Send him off, bro.
All right, man. No, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. If you're in the colder regions, stay warm, stay cool, watch your favorite Christmas movie, enjoy family, enjoy friends, hit the gym, eat healthy, and work on your trading if you're looking to improve, guys.
See you guys at the big desk.
And it's so easy to let